Welcome everybody to the bi-weekly Challenge of Doom. I'm your host and tournament organizer, professional illustrator, part-time lumberjack, Senior Doom, coming at you live from, well, my office, I guess. Joining me tonight is Shining Espeon. Shining Espeon, sorry, it's like 3 syllables and that throws me off for some reason.
You're doing terrific.
Would you mind introducing yourself to our fine audience? A little self-promotion if you like, and talk about yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is Kara, aka Shining Espeon. A lot of y'all know me on Pokemon Twitter. I'm mostly around the retro scene these days, but I've been playing Standard forever now, so not much I have to say in the way of self-promotion, but usually, yeah, here I am, excited to be here.
Usually a good one is you just go say, I'm awesome. That works for me.
Well, that's certainly true.
Or you come up with a fact that's not really true. Like, I am not in any sort of way a lumberjack, but because I live in the Pacific Northwest and wear flannels, people assume that.
Well, now you tell me. If you told me that lying was on the menu, I would have cooked up all sorts of stuff.
Well, but you still got time. Just remember, chat has a short memory.
That's true.
Like, the amount of games I've made mistakes and they forget about is just astronomical. I made a mistake and I go, oh, hey, I'm going to go chop down tree now, maple syrup. And they go, ha, 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 and they forgot.
That is a great idea. I'll keep that in mind.
Actually, some maple syrup sounds... Okay, it sounds good because, like, I'm hoping for, like, waffles tomorrow morning. Mrs. Doom will make waffles for my youngest. And she'll make extra, and I'll eat them. And it just sounds good now. Oh, man, now I'm setting myself up for failure. All right. Let's go ahead and get this round 1 started. Tournament is ready. Start tournament. Let us find a game. Let's go ahead and update this metagame as let's find our... Standings usually the easiest way to find someone. Cash is on Arch Aladon. He's usually an easy, quick stream. Callie is on against Cash, which is even funnier. Is anyone already in a table? No tables yet. Wancho's in with the crabs. Let's get Wancho.
All right, let's do it. I love Wancho.
Oh, he's great. He's cashed it a few times on here. He's also, is he streaming right now? I'm gonna double check if he's streaming.
PKS Blaze, how's it going?
PKS Blaze is awesome. I don't see him on there, so I will reach out to him. I don't think he... All right, let's see if you can. Only a little bit to mention. So who else we got? We do have, I can't say Naineux. There's a couple of people on here I know who can. I just think Wancho. Yeah, see, like, I thought Cash or Callie, but they're both playing each other. And it's like, man, I can't put 2 of my favorite streamers, people who play on here, like, right off the bat.
I see some decks that I hope to see in action tonight. I'll say that much.
Well, we'll hopefully get one of them on. PKS Blaze is on the up against Ancient Box. I want to move us down to the one person who's streaming and see who it is, just so I can possibly pull them up if we need it. Tachyonic Whooper. Okay. Tachyonic Whooper. All right, and there's a possibility someone might not show up. Though, like, we have a short. This would be Raging Bolt versus Eevees. I'm surprised they haven't given Eevees its own thing yet. But hey, it's a game. We want Cash. You really want Cash versus Callie? Cash is gonna go, no, because you're gonna you're gonna stream kill me kind of thing.
I say we go for it. Sounds fun to me.
All right, I just asked him.
So I'm looking at this meta, and you know, a lot of the stuff you expect. I mean, we're in Budu's world now, so seeing Gardevoir and Dragapult at the top in representation, pretty much what I would have predicted too. I think those are top benefactors from Budu's existence in the format, and so I'm cool with that. I think both those decks are cool.
Yeah, especially. Let's actually see how many Gardevoirs have Budu in it tonight. About half of them do.
Okay, so we have some opting out entirely. That's a decision that, I mean, I'm skeptical of, but you know, they're the ones here who have the chance to prove me wrong. I'm just talking about them. So,
like neither Cash or Kelly's responded to me. I don't think King Dallas is signed in, checked in yet. So even the matchup we do have. Oh, Lucas is there. Lucas could also be in our stream. Okay, let's see what Lucas is playing. He's a local, really great player. Oh, he's on Blocklax though.
Oh, I'm into that.
You know what? If nobody else shows up, we'll go with Lucas.
You know, there we go.
He's up against Goldango. Is the Goldango playing what I think it's playing? All right.
Okay, so we're locking in. We have Snorlax versus Goldango.
Yep. Let me get. I just need to grab the names real quick, and then I will have it up on screen. But if you want, talk to chat like they're blind for a second.
All right. So we see a Snorlax in the lead versus a Radiant Greninja, and immediately we have a Poppin going for a Gimmighoul and a Togepi. So this is going to be the Togekiss version of Goldango.
Oh, now Cash starts streaming.
Pokestop milled a Gimmighoul, but also gave the Night Stretcher to get it back. So going to have a couple Gimmighoul in play. Now, I haven't seen much of this particular matchup. I'm curious to see what the Goldango players' game plan is against Snorlax.
Traditionally, what I've seen with them is that they are trying to get that one Togekiss set up. They want it set up so they can get the extra prizes. So instead of trying to take 6 prizes against Snorlax, they could actually end up only taking 3.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense given that Goldango is so resource intensive just to take a KO in the first place. It makes sense to me that they would need a little bit of help closing the door. I imagine an Airy taking even one superior energy retrieval could be a problem.
Well, they ended up taking the canceling clone, which would have been
that's not good either. Yeah, that was probably what they were planning on to get the Greninja out of there. So hopefully they have more of a game plan. This isn't just a very short game.
If it does end up being short, we do have the Cash, Paparazzi. Okay, people are starting to come in for their game. So we have a couple of extra games to jump back. If they don't have Switch here, that's the biggest thing. If there's no Switch... Oh, right here. This is the other issue. Is the Cornerstone. Goldango can't...
That's true.
Goldango can't hit through it. And they lost the canceling cologne.
Now we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have just one Goldango list in the tournament.
Surprisingly, the Pokemon Gaming, or H Heather, I think that's what her name on here is. You can see the username in the upper corner. She took 4th in the last tournament of Doom, which was about 230 players.
Now I'm looking at this list right here. I see a single canceling cologne. That's it, and it's already gone. So I think that probably with just the one in the list, it would have been an uphill battle with the Ogerpon, but also getting that Greninja out of the way and all sorts of considerations. But without it at all, I don't think I love her odds.
No, This is a little bit of luck on Lucas's side of hitting the Airy and hitting one of the 2 outs. And the big thing is it was the big out, because now they can't get through the cornerstone. They'd have to find something else to attack it, and there's not a lot of attackers in Goldango that match that criteria that would make it fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see much aside from tackling with a gimme goal, which isn't exactly where you want to be.
Oh, they did have a Thornton out. Okay, that was another out.
But that doesn't get around the cornerstone problem. That's just like if I'm the Snorlax player here, I just might not bench anything else but the cornerstone. I like, the canceling cologne is gone. I would say put them on having another out, because I think odds are if the Snorlax player doesn't bench anything else, there's no line that for our Goldango player to take all 6 prizes.
No. Ooh, wow.
Oh, a brutal Misfortune Sisters, taking 2 superior energy retrievals, 4 total items, just destroying that deck. That is incredibly daunting to see if you're a Goldango player.
Yeah. Like
I've been hearing some hype for Snorlax coming up for this format, and it's certainly put on a good showing so far.
In all my testing, I've actually just been scooping when I go up against Snorlax right now, just because like I'm trying to test other matchups. I know when the decks I'm playing don't have a favorable control Block-Lax matchup anyways. Like, I just need to hope they don't get like a second Pokemon down and I'm just faster. 1 win condition, I know what it is. I don't need to practice it. But then again, I'm also not hitting it that often. I hit it... I'm pulling up my testing notes. I've hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times.
There's the Energy Search Pro. Just grabbing 2 energies. So just grabbing what they need to coin bonus the Snorlax for a knockout. Oh, I'm sorry, not coin bonus, but make it rain for the Snorlax for a knockout. But that means that we're about to see an attack, and we are probably about to see a big Togekiss flip. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, Togekiss flips are the best. Oh, we had a game on like 2 weeks ago. The Togekiss went 2 for 2 on heads and got 6 prizes off 2 KOs. VMAXs
are back. All right, Wonder Kiss, moment of truth. Here we go.
Oh!
Tails. Not the break that our Goldango player needed. That is absolutely heartbreaking. And here comes the cornerstone. What do? You
pray.
Pray for what? What is your out here?
Pray. That's all I can say.
Some kind of divine intervention. The Snorlax player's computer crashes. I mean, that's the kind of out we have at this point.
They could play for a tie, I guess, but you don't have enough cards in deck to do that. And if you start slow playing, that's an automatic loss.
Oh, hey, Wancho, how are you doing? You already won your first round?
Yeah, he ended up donking the other player. So even if we got him on, it would have been done already.
Save some for the rest of us, Wancho. My goodness. I will say this. These are 2 very pretty decks on both sides of the field here.
I just cannot bring myself to play gold items.
Yeah, I honestly, I wouldn't either. I like just the regular non-hollow basic items, but I like the full art Pokemon. I like the full art supporters, so
I use
those every chance I get.
Hoping to get my hands on before Vancouver, but the prices haven't gone down at all. Is the Dragapult alt arts. Even if I don't play Dragapult, I still want them because it's
I had to pull the trigger and get myself a set of those. I've been very eager to play Dragapult format, and those are just such pretty cards.
Yeah, I'm like sitting there. I'm like looking through my deck that I am probably taking to locals this week, and that's like I got a whole bunch of Cosmic Hollows, like Arvins. I got the Cosmic Hollow Ionos on their way in. Cosmic Hollow like Turo. Like those are like all my supporters, and then like a whole bunch of good things. Like my only supporter that's not looking special right now is Lance. Poor Lance. I dug through 4 boxes of bulk to find 2 Lances.
I was proactive. I got those full art Lances a long while back, and Dragapult didn't do what I wanted to do back in Twilight Masquerade format, but I just stayed true. I held on to them, and now it's paying off, so I'm happy.
Yep, I'm gonna use it right up until the end of March.
I will savor these next 2 months.
I am testing a lot of Dragapult decks right now. I know how to play Lugia. Even with the new version of Lugia, I'm like still the flow chart of Lugia is still the same. Well, here we go, flip time.
All right, and Wonder Kiss.
Oh.
Goldango cannot win today.
Nope. Unless they have the flippy gimme goal and they hit 20 heads.
Yeah, I saw that out from Wancho. Looking at the list, I believe it is the other gimme goal. We're looking at tackle for 3 energy. So we're going to see a whole lot of tackles. But I think we're not actually going to see a whole lot of tackles. We're going to see probably a whole lot of sad Snorlax. A whole lot of sad Goldango.
Poor Goldango.
Now there are other outs. We could see a misplay out of the Snorlax player, but they don't seem inclined to do it. They have 2 nest balls. They're not playing them. They're sitting pretty on the 1 cornerstone, and they know their opponent's list. They know that 1 canceling clone is gone, so they have to be feeling pretty safe here.
Yeah.
And actually, we have the entire bench locked down to Pokemon with abilities, so that's pretty much the door closed as far as I can see.
Yeah. This is one of those times. Oh, wow. That's
no.
More
3 more items milled. Well, at least it'll be over quick.
Yeah, we're not going to see stop pass, or...
And our Snorlax player is playing at a blazing speed. I mean, they know what they're doing. They are throwing down their cards.
That's something I talked to a lot of Snorlax players about. There's the concession.
There it is.
Like being able to stream your match and also play at a good speed helps with like if we were going to call like a slow play or something else, something like that. That's like one of those hard things. Is right here is like trying to call slow play, because that's the number one thing you have happen with block lags. But as it is, let's go ahead and update the standings and see what we have in the metagame and what's winning. I'm actually going to move us real quick. Okay.
Decisive win for a Snorlax player. And we have a lot of matchups done already.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the challenge is things move quickly. Like a lot of times, like did I say like 2.5 hours? We've had it we've run all 6 rounds in about 1 hour and 45 minutes once. It was insane. I was like, wow. There was like no judge calls. All the games played through quickly. I was like, this is the greatest tournament I've ever run. Whereas in like a Friday night tournament, last Friday night's tournament, I streamed for 7.5 hours, and the tournament itself ran for 9.
Yeah, the one that I cast with you back in, I want to say October. I mean, that couldn't have been that long either. That couldn't have been much more than 2 hours. We really flew through those rounds. Yeah,
and as soon as the round's ready and there's no issues, I keep it going. If there is an issue, usually it's like someone ties, and what we do have is what we call the 2.5 minute buffer, where because there's animations in live that your players cannot control. It's not like if I'm playing Gardevoir, I can't pick up all 6 energy, toss it on there, and you know what's happening.
Right.
It's all there. You gotta sit there and drag it 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. That takes about 45 seconds to a minute and a half, depending. And so
the flip side is, though, you're not shuffling, you're not doing, you're cutting a lot of those corners. So pros and cons.
So we give that 2.5 minute buffer, so the players can, if they were in the action of winning the game, can win and have their win count. Whereas if they go in 2.5 minutes and they're still going back and forth, and then maybe someone's like, "Oh yeah, I could have game in another turn or something." I'm sorry, no, you did not win in that buffer time. You need to win in that buffer time because we can't enforce 1, 2, 3. Unless,
that makes sense to me.
Unless every player streamed their game, and not everyone can do that. People like to play on their phone. Some people don't have a PC powerful enough to do it. It varies. What's up, Cash? So then we got, so we know Cash won, so we got Cash the Archalodon. Let's do some of the other decks. Ooh, Serena. Somebody coming in with a spice.
Oh, Serena EX. That's interesting. You know, it's really been kind of cool seeing this Brute Bonnet Radiant Sneasler package sort of take off a little bit more. I'm not gonna say it's huge. Even the Cloth Terapagos deck has fallen somewhat in popularity, but still, it's cool just seeing that as an option some players are embracing.
What if I'm streaming from my phone? You can stream from your phone if you want. Some people just don't have a phone powerful enough for it. Like, for every person who has like a iPhone, whatever they're at, I should know because I work for a phone company and I do all the marketing, a lot of marketing stuff. We're like, actually, no, that's a.
Oh, hold on. I thought you were Lumberjack. What's going on here?
I knocked down the telephone poles.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's important work.
Very important work. That's why my town was out without power for 3 days. A lot of trees I knocked over to knock over the power poles. I was like creative that night. Wind helped out a bunch, but but yeah, like I think I work on the older stuff, like for like pay as you go stuff. So we're at iPhone 13. I'm like, what are we on now? Otherwise, but some people have that, and some people are still running like on iPhone 5s. Like I think my dad still had an iPhone 5 until like a year ago. And that's just me using iPhones. I'm actually an Android user, so. But back to our deck here. Easily sidetracked, that's what I am. Yeah.
Okay, next time I'll pull you back on track.
It's easy to follow. Yeah, that's usually why I bring in a guest caster. Like if you watch the ones where I don't have a guest caster, we've talked about like Taco Bell for 45 minutes while just watching Pokemon games. Easily.
I'm just using all of my willpower to not talk about my cat.
Oh, I love cats here.
Anyone who follows me on Twitter knows all about my cat.
Cats are the best. Well, all right, now you've taken me to a different thing. Our cat in the house is taken to trying to open our liquor cabinet, but where the liquor cabinet is above the refrigerator and it's locked. So all she does is just like clunk, 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 clunk at 2 a.m. No idea.
My cat successfully opens the hall closet and the bathroom cabinet. So she opens the bathroom cabinet up. She goes in there, and then the door closes, and she's in there just under the sink in the dark. And she usually chills there for a while. She's happy, but then after a while, you hear her start banging at the door, trying to get out. But right now, she is sleeping on my laptop next to me. So.
I don't know where our cat is. Not in here. That's all I know.
So I'm taking a look at the metagame right now.
Yeah, let's look a little bit more at the metagame. Like we talked about, Gardevoir and Raging Bolt, Dragapult, Dusknoir are your 1 and 2s. Right
I
now,
definitely want to see some Dragapult action.
We'll hopefully get some on.
I have Gardevoir action, honestly. I like both those decks. I'm a big fan of Stage 2 decks in general, and those decks are both really cool right now.
What's going to be great about rotations, we'll be completely gone of all 3 prizers. We will have, the last VMAXs will finally rotate.
What VMAXs even meaningfully exist right now?
You could play Regieleki VMAX on Maridon deck.
Yeah, you could, but are you going to?
No. None of them
or Cura VMAX, but I mean, come on.
none of them are really good for it, but the fact that they still exist, you can still sit there and say, on a technicality, they're still there. Oh, the Feral Gator showed up tonight.
Yeah, I've been wanting to talk about that deck. That's a really exciting deck.
Yeah, I pulled up one of the lists. It's so big, I have to scroll.
Oh, this one's right in the Sneasler package too. Okay, that's really interesting. But this might be a deck that some people aren't familiar with, haven't quite seen in action, haven't heard about. But this is like first and foremost a hit and run deck. You use for Alligator's Torrential Heart to increase your damage output, and then use Relicamp's Memory Dive to copy your Croconaws attack and hit for I think it's 30 base and then plus 120.
Yeah, 30 plus
Yep,
120.
I nailed it. And then you switch into a Mimikyu or a Teal Mask, and all the while you're putting damage counters on your Feraligatr to use the ability. So you got Monkey Dory to move that off. And capping all this off, this is a Grand Tree deck. So you can use the Grand Tree to power up a Feraligatr out of nowhere. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on here.
This one looks like it even uses the Pecharunt for a couple extra damage that I might need. So you switch into that with the poison package.
Mm-hmm.
And then get a quick KO. I mean, you could even technically donk with it. That's what Cloth tries to do.
Yeah, I'm into it. I wish that they were streaming. Maybe we can catch one of their opponents streaming, because I would love to watch them in action.
Yeah, because we have the other one as well that's still 0-0 we haven't seen. The Faulkner's kind of interesting. Draw 2 if you have a stadium. Draw 2 more.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical of that. I mean, they do have 4 stadiums in play, but the floor on that card is just so low.
Draw 4. It's almost like just play Hop and just take the guaranteed 3.
Or play Colress, and I'm sure you can afford to Colress. Colress's Experiment, of course. They do have Colress's Tenacity, which is important to get them the Grand Tree. But that said, like, I don't know how I feel about 1 Tenacity with no way to search it. I feel like if I'm running Grand Tree, I want to really be able to find that thing, because getting a very fast Feraligatr just seems so strong.
Because this one's got 3 Colress Tenacities going for it.
Yeah, that's more along the lines of the list that I've been seeing. This one of the poison package is a little bit different.
Running the Badoo, probably hopefully to buy some time to get that Grand Tree, get that Feraligatr set up and start doing what you need to. And the cape package as well. Put that Feraligatr up to 280. But then it is the extra prize for the cape, right?
It is, yeah.
Yes, it essentially turns any Pokemon into an EX or V. So we are currently waiting on 6 games, but they're moving. I think this is one of them we're waiting on. I'll update the standings here so we can find out.
It makes sense. The deck does do the hit and run thing, and hit and run decks can be on the slower side. We have Gouging Fire at 1-0. That's exciting.
And we have a couple Gouging Fires will come through sometimes. One of the players we've had a whole bunch is Moxie Roxy or Nelson Guillen. Depends on what he sets up. Oh, I also forgot I got jumbled. Make sure there's no 7 rounds tonight. That was like last time I ran this. He likes to play Gouging Fire. There we go. Whew. Okay, fix that. Let's see, Wedge list. We have the one of Gloose. I don't remember who Gloose is. Oh, they beat D-Ward. D-Ward's the person we can get to stream. Looks like your basic Gouging Fire deck. I don't see too much there. I think it's a little smaller on the Switch cards than they usually run. But
yeah, I mean, it seems interesting enough. I wouldn't mind seeing that in action.
Someone we can possibly reach out to, or see if they're playing against someone we already know who's streaming. That's someone we can jump into.
Oh, a Tech Roaring Moon EX is pretty spicy.
Okay. Yeah, I played against a Roaring Moon recently who got, I want to say it was like all 4 dark patches off on turn 1, plus the Setas, and like they were just so full of energy everywhere. I was like, "Yep, I'm done. Now I'm out of here."
I can imagine Magma Basin plus Sada really adds up.
Here's one. Arceus Armarouge has been seeing a slight uptick in play lately. This one happens to be playing the Monkey Dory package. I'm also surprised it's playing the Iron Hands package as well. But I mean, you know what? If you're going to play something spicy, might as well be Iron Hands.
So I guess you Luminous Energy and put 3 basic fire into that thing so you can attack?
Yep. And then that gives you
then.
the same thing with, like, you also have the Regigigas where you can go and switch things into, so you get the nice 330 against your Terra Pokemon. And then I'm surprised they're not playing the Armarouge EX, considering it has the negative 80 on all attacks.
You know, I'm something of an Arceus skeptic right now. I just think that trying to oh goodness, it's been a while, I'm drawing a blank. Trying to Trinity Nova, there it is, on turn 2 is just not the threat that it used to be. I think the average attacker in this format is just doing more with their turn 2.
Yes.
But you know, I do see it's 0-1, but I do see Jolly Flying Man's Arceus Dusknoir deck was kind of interesting, having Dusknoir to kind of close the gaps of Arceus' attack.
Oh, I actually remember I played against it recently. You're trying to use stuff like Counter Gain and stuff with it too. Let me see this full list.
This has a Grand Tree as well. I kind of like that with Arceus. Honestly, I like that you can use Arceus' Starbirth to grab the Grand Tree, get a Dusknoir out of nowhere. I mean, it doesn't take all that much to get a pretty big turn 2. You could turn 1 Arceus with energy and bench a Dust. You don't even need to bench the Duskull Grand Tree. Turn 1 Arceus energy is all you need. Turn 2, you can go Duskull Grand Tree up to Dusknoir, double turbo, and
Counter Gain, and you're set.
You're cooking.
It's a very interesting deck, and I've played against it, and it can get rolling. Yeah, turn 2 Roxanne is possible. It is very possible to get your opponent down to 2 cards. All right, we've got our next round is ready. The last match is finished, so let's go ahead and get that going.
All right, I'm excited.
And we'll go ahead and pair next round. And then someone asked in the tournament chat here.
Oh, I see. You don't necessarily attack with Arceus. You just use it to Starbirth.
Yes, you're using it as Starbirth, and you're taking all the KOs you can, and then like you're coming in with Bear mostly.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I like this concept, honestly. This is clever. I hope I can see it in action.
So there's Wanchos against Charizard. Cash, who's also streaming, is up against with the Archaludon versus Daycamp in the Archaludon mirror match. Who else we got here? PKS Blaze is on Regidrago versus Dragapult Dusknoir.
Yeah, let's do it. Can we have that one?
Yep. Yep, we're right there right now. Let me get the name set up, and we will have it up. As long as their opponent shows up and doesn't, 1-0 drop.
This is a matchup that I've been... Oh, what's going on?
Oh, they're both there, so we got a game. Should.
Perfect. This is a matchup I've been practicing a lot. I am a big fan of Dragapult right now, and I don't want to play anything without having a game plan for Dusknoir. For Regidrago. There we go. So
being a Dragapult player, have you tried Dragapult Charizard yet?
I tried that back in Twilight Masquerade format. I haven't tried it in this new format. I'm certainly open to trying it.
Essentially, what you're doing is replacing the Dusknoirs with a Charizard line. And way you're going about it is you're using Charizard to either take early quick KOs or to clear out at the end where like maybe you're missing something, but you're going to hit 300 with a Charizard. There's and some versions of it run the Hero's Cape on top of it to make that Charizard just a really big thick boy.
I can see the appeal of that for sure. I've definitely had games where the Dusknoir didn't really come up, and having a Charizard might have. So
yeah,
I should give that some consideration.
I'll send you a list I've seen so you can at least get a jumping point. I think it took second in one of the late nights, like a 200 plus one. It's not. I don't even think it's in the metagame tonight. So it shows up as a Charizard deck, not as Charizard Dragapult. But it's an interesting deck.
Yeah, I remember it had some hype in Twilight Masquerade format, and Michael Pramawat played it at the NAIC. NAIC, that was what it was. But yeah, it's obviously a whole new format, and
it's a very European
things
deck.
are a little different.
Is how it's been explained to me. Give me a sec here. As we're just waiting for our opponents to get playing before we do anything.
I might take a peek at our players' deck lists here.
Okay. All right, looks like the game is going.
All right, so if I'm not mistaken, we have PKS Blaze on the Regidrago, and we have the opponent Majin Mewtwo on the Dragon Ball Dusknoir. And I'm looking at these lists. I see something interesting right away. I see our Regidrago player opting for a bit of a lighter Drago line in favor of a maxed out 4 Ogerpon and also a couple of Budew. So
the Budew is definitely interesting to me. Because I've seen some of up the Ogerpon line because it can attack quicker than Regidrago against Budews.
Right, yeah, you don't need the energy switch, you just need one Teal Dance and a couple manual attachments. Get that ready in 2 turns. I also don't hate the Squawkabilly. You can attack with Squawkabilly here.
Get a couple nice energy acceleration, which they also play Power Glass.
Yeah, Power Glass is an interesting one.
As right now, ooh.
Uh-oh,
indeed.
Not at all what you want to see if you are a Dragon Ball player. So that's looking pretty rough. Budew can be an equalizer, but against this list that's just so tech for Budew, not even getting a Dreepy down turn 1 is a little bit spooky.
I don't know if you also noticed, they play a 1 of Crispin.
I did notice that, yeah. They are just so teched out to have ways to deal with Budew, and this could be just a wild one-off list, but there's a good chance this could be the future of Drago too. So time will tell, and we'll see what this archetype has to say at our next big tournament.
Here we go.
Down comes a Budew, energy on the Drago, a switch to the free retreat Budew, and a fresh hand to Squawk and Seize.
Not a bad hat here.
Well, here's the thing that's really rough though. That Itchy Pollen is going to make it even harder for Majin Mewtwo to get set up. Now all those Nest Balls and Poffins do nothing. And looking at their list, they only have 2 copies of Lance, so they might be sitting on one. They very well might be sitting on one, but if they don't have one, it's so scary. Like that Arven
is not doing anything.
That's not great. You're not getting anything against your Dreepy.
Unless they happen to have something like I don't know. Maybe they're bringing up the Pheasantipity.
They run a one of Artisan, which is essentially their one chance here. But it looks like we're going to be going for a Perplex. Yep, that is a Perplex Badu.
No confusion.
But not that Perplex. Confusion Flip was a Tails. Oh no. Here's the Power Glass. A little bit of spice from Blaze.
The question now becomes for Blaze. Do you Iono here, knowing that your opponent's hand is probably not that good?
I mean, I don't think you need to. I think you can just go aggressive with the Drago and threaten to end this game in 2 turns.
Or the concession.
The opponent sees the writing on the wall. They pack it in. A little unfortunate that wasn't much of a game. I like this matchup a lot, and I would love to see it really firing on all cylinders. But maybe we can find another game to peek on.
Yeah, I'm looking up. Paparazzi's got Raging Bolt Ogerpon versus Archelon Dialga. And then Lucas is on the blog. Let's go Paparazzi. They're a friend of the channel, so
sounds good.
We'll get this set up so we got a game going. How many prizes? No prizes have been taken yet. That makes it even better. Boop. And then I will just update the names live because I want to get the game on.
All right, so this is a matchup I don't know all that well. I haven't seen a ton of the Archelon deck in action. I know I've seen more than my share of Raging Bolt, but
Archelon,
this should be interesting.
Archelon wants to either use the Star Chronos, get itself a nice 4 prize turn possibly, or it wants to outlast its opponent using stuff like Turo.
Makes sense. Oh, Pokestop for 3. This is why we play this card. Pokestop is a broken stadium. I've been saying this for a while, but Pokestop is comfortably the best stadium in the game right now. Probably one of the top 3 stadiums ever printed. The card is just unreal.
Yeah, it was amazing because the Ghost set had just nothing in it. Well, okay, it had block clocks as well, but comparatively, how many playable cards? You know what? Now I'm taking back my words. There's quite a few things in Go. At least more so than you would think.
Those 3 alone, that's a lot of heat. By the way, PKS Blaze, I'm glad you congratulations for breaking the stream curse. I don't know if I can say I was glad the way that game went. I was hoping for something a little bit more back and forth, but good game to you all the same.
I'm double checking everything that was in there. Yeah, Radiant Charizard, always good. Oh, Twilight Inspiration was in there for a couple of your rogue decks. Moon Kinesis. Okay, you know what? Go had a lot more to it than I thought already. Even though some of them are rogue decks kind of things, but there's still...
Oh no. There goes the Dialga.
They do like to play Thornton.
Oh, that's good. So they just lose a couple prizes, but they don't get locked out of the Star Chronos option. Even with the Thornton option factored in, though, that's exactly what Raging Bolt wanted to see. That 2 prize turn, trying to keep that good quick tempo for the game.
Now the worst thing for Duraludon here is it only hits 220, so it does not OHKO a Raging Bolt.
Yeah, Raging Bolt's 240 HP on the basic just keeps coming up. I mean, this is just a huge Pokemon. Bezendipity's down, so on one hand, yeah, we got to flip the script. But I look at that, and I look at that Pokemon catcher in Raging Bolt's hand, and I'm thinking, you know what? There's a world where this Bolt player's down to 2 prizes next turn, so bit of a mixed bag if you're the metal player.
Yeah. I've seen some have added stuff like Black Belt, the new Black Belt card that came out. That has helped a little bit, where you can get those KOs. I'm looking up the card right now. I'm trying to remember the full text on it is.
This is Black Belt's training you're talking about?
Yes.
Let your Pokemon do plus 40 damage to Pokemon EX?
Yes. That is what some of them have been playing specifically to counter decks like this, where they're like just a little short on KO.
So that's interesting. That's a spiritual successor to the Black Belt supporter from Triumphant. That was just a flat plus 40 damage to anything, but you could only use it if you're behind in prizes. So that was a not a hugely played card, but it was a card that a handful of decks teched, especially decks that aim to voluntarily give up prizes to the opponent, like the Regigigas level X deck. But I don't want to dwell on the past too much. That was almost 15 years ago. My goodness.
Yeah, I've sat here and I've talked about like base set stuff, going back to Haymaker and everything. I'm like, man, I'm old. Okay, I am.
You and me both, my friend.
I turned 39 in about a month, so.
Well, okay, I'm not that old.
I was 13 when Pokemon came out, so. I have quite a few old base set cards that follow me everywhere. And my pride and joy is still my my Dark Charizard from Team Rocket. And I wish I understood that Dark Raichu that I pulled was a chase card. I was like, why does it say 83 of like 82?
Now, while we are reminiscing, our Raging Bolt player is powering up. We already have 4 energy down in play. We are dangerously close to that 300 threshold.
They would need to find another Ogerpon and have the energy in the discard to be able to get there, I believe.
Yeah, here's if they have the energy in the discard, because they do have an Ultra Ball. Oh, Pokemon Catcher going for that Fez. And Tails. A lot of Tails slips on stream tonight. So the fact that they're not slamming the Ultra Ball makes me think they do not have that grass energy in the discard pile, so they can grab an Ogerpon. Or maybe they prized all their other Ogerpon. I mean, you never know. I don't know their prizes, but
right. That is one thing I wish we could see. Was the
now
prizes.
they're eyeing the Pheasantipity. They're thinking, do we flip the script here? But that would guarantee them no Ogerpon. But I mean, you know, if you're going to commit to not going for the Ogerpon, would you flip the script?
Yes, possibly to get anything else you would need set up for the next turn. Considering that their opponent is probably not taking a KO, I'm going to double check their deck and make sure they don't play something like the Black Belt.
But we can see, just a pass out of Regidrago. So they're saying, you know what, my Pokemon all have a lot of HP. I don't think I'm going to be knocked out, and I don't want to play into your Turos. I'm just going to sit pretty, get more energy down next turn, and then take that big knockout. I mean, you know, honestly, I kind of like the discipline here.
You don't. That's something you see a lot of players don't do. They don't realize that you can just not take a KO sometimes.
Yeah. Or not take KO. Sometimes not attack. Like sometimes the best play is just to hold on to your resources and sit tight. Oh, and we see the Banette using its ability. I
believe they grabbed.
I missed what it grabbed, but I'm gonna see if I can catch on the replay.
I believe it was boss's orders. I believe. I barely.
God, that animation is not very helpful, huh? They just give you a tiny little flash of that card.
Because it should show your opponent exactly what they grabbed.
Just a certified PTCGL moment, I think. It's cool to see that Banette seeing play. I was a little surprised it hasn't seen play before then. I thought that card honestly reads pretty good. I guess it did see that that second place at EUIC from Isaiah Bradner. So that was really it's one notable moment before now. Okay, now if you're the Archaludon player, you have to find some way to take 2 more prizes and keep up with the tempo of the game. If they grab that boss's orders, that's a really good start.
That gets you the squawk ability. That gets you easy KO. Puts you at 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can power up that Dialga into the Dialga V-Star, you can use the Star Chronos.
There it is. Okay, so now that missed KO is really, really going to come back and hurt our Raging Bolt player, because now they are on the losing end of this exchange. That said, they have everything they need to take all the energy out off the board right now for their opponents. So they will force their opponent to really have all that stuff they need to close things out.
I would actually advocate for them to go after the Dialga. Since they have the boss's orders and they have all that energy already in play that would KO it.
Yeah, I think that's
and then
that's not a terrible play. There's nothing. Well, now there's a Teal Mask Ogerpon in play. There's a Bravery Charm though, so they can put the HP out of range. Yeah, I think going after the Dialga makes a lot of sense. Majestic Mike. Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't go for the Ogerpon. Well, I don't know their list. Do they run some kind of tool removal? Or do you think they should be setting up for a Dialga play next turn if they go after the Ogerpon?
I don't know. Like, they're in a really not a bad spot, but they're in just not the best spot now.
It's a little bit weird, certainly.
Like, you can't bench the Fez.
And I don't think you need to bench the Fez when you have the bulk of your deck in your hand right now.
Yeah, the Raging Bolt player has been really great about putting the tools onto the Ogerpons to prevent just easy KOs from the Archaludon. But
yeah, they've been pretty disciplined with their board. I do like to see that.
I do want to see them go after that Dialga, though.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. They have the means to do it. They have the catcher, they have the boss. Oh, are they going to get rid of the Pokestop?
Don't give
Yep, I like that. I really like that. They're trying to choke their opponent out of options.
As long as they don't bench that Fez, that's all. They can take the KO here.
They were disciplined enough to not do it last turn, so I do think that they've been playing pretty tight. There's a catcher going for the Dialga. Nope, Tails, Plan B, still got the boss's orders.
Dude.
Oh, going for the Fez instead. I like that too.
Take way more draw power.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. The Dialga needs a lot to do the Star Chronos play, and the Archaludon's not doing enough on its own, so
Mike,
I don't mind that. And also, another benefit of this is they're conserving their energy in play. They only use up 3 energy. They're keeping 4 in play, meaning a single attachment, and they can essentially knock out anything for the game. So,
Mike,
I don't mind that at all.
Archaludons have a tendency not to play Iono, or only play a small count of Iono. So that's probably not going to happen. They're going to definitely want to retreat this Archaludon out of the active.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. That big hand and those 4 energy in play present way too big a threat. I don't know. I'm not sure why you promoted it in the first place, honestly.
Well, this is a hard call.
This is a world where I'd probably say, all right, Radiant Greninja, sorry, you did your part.
All right, so we see 1 Archaludon. They need Archaludon, energy, and a stretcher to pull off the Star Chronos turn here.
They also need the Dialga V-Star.
Well, that's what the stretcher's for.
Oh, okay, there we go. I missed the Dialga V-Star hitting the discard pile.
Both of them are in there. I saw it. They were scrolling through and I saw it.
We see 3 different arts of Archaludon. Oh my goodness.
God! That last card
too.
With that last card's energy. Oh
They had the perfect hand! Oh my goodness. We had our regional player just playing so tight.
They played it so well.
Oh, but just our CHALLNEGE player had a literally perfect hand. Oh my goodness,
God.
that is incredible.
That turn. Yeah, someone clip that, please. Like, I even called exactly what they needed in that hand. Oh. No way.
What a game. That is just... I mean, the 5 perfect cards.
I'm sorry, paparazzi, that happened to you, man. I'm so sorry, but that was like the 5 perfect cards.
What a game.
All right, I want to move us real quick. There we go. All right, and then I'll reshare my screen. There you go. Man, that's like the turn of just... I can't describe it. It's just you hit that turn once and you never hit it again.
Some games are just built different. Now, people are saying should have hit the Dialga instead of the Pheasantipede. That's reasonable, but you think about it. Like, I mean, so much needed to go right for that to happen. If you think about the probability, I mean, I think it's a fair call to bank on that just not happening.
Right, because you knew both the Dialgas were in the discard, so okay, they need this, they need that. They do play Thornton, and it's like if you give them 3 extra cards on top of the top deck, that gives them a hand of 10 versus a hand of it would be 10, yeah, 6. No, a hand of 9 because they got 6 on the top deck. You don't want that. It's like make them play with 6, not 9. But at the same time, I was saying go after the Dialga, make them have that. So it was a...
I disagree that removing Pheasantipede is pointless. Like, aside from removing their resources, it also conserves an extra energy attachment in play and makes it so they need just a single energy drop to KO anything through basically any kind of disruption. So if they were banking on that, I don't think it was an unreasonable call. I mean, obviously, it wasn't the right call because it lost them the game, but I think that there was some fair logic behind it.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. But again, like we all saw, God turn, like the turn of champions.
I mean, that turn was a sight to see. I'm glad I got to see it.
I'm glad we all did. I'm sorry, paparazzi, again that you lost. We saw it, but how often do you see that turn?
So looking at the standings now, we've got a lot going on here. We have Wancho at 2-0. We got a Snorlax at 2-0. We have a Lost Giratina at 2-0. That's something.
Oh, that was actually interesting. If they had removed a Duraludon, that would have made the Star Chronos impossible. But then you'd be on odd prizes, though.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah. Well, back to the standings. We do have a Lost Zone box currently at 2-0. Giratina
Lost Giratina is very, very interesting.
I believe they have all moved to adding Crispins to the deck to make it function. Which...
I saw a list. I don't know how sincere it was, but I saw a list posted on Twitter the other day that was proposing Giratina V-Star with Teal Mask, Overpawn, and energy switches.
I think
kind of just get that real fast Lost Impact.
Yeah. I feel like this is still just on the outside looking in, though. I don't know if it's just like functionally it's not there or if the numbers aren't there. Kind of like what happened to Arceus, where 180 just isn't good enough anymore. It's 280 good enough. Star Wars.
280 is pretty good. I think 180 and 280 are pretty different numbers. I mean, 280 is going to blow up everything that's not one of our big stage 2 Pokemon. with Reggie Drago as the most popular deck in the format, being able to hit 280, and that's where I want to be.
So I wouldn't mind seeing if we watch them, but I don't know. PKS plays.
PKS, I'm not going to lie, that's been my mentality on Lost Zone decks for the last several months. I would not want to be registering Comfade for a tournament, but it is 2-0. It'll be interesting to see how the tournament goes for it.
Like, I had Lost Zone Pikachu playing for a while, and then it just finally clicked one day. I'm like, Badoo's coming. I'm having to make like these ridiculous plays to get wins half the time. I'm like, no, I'm gonna put you away.
You just gotta try way too hard with Lost Zone decks to do what other decks are just doing much more easily.
Arctina, that would be hilarious. Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's the beyond cope.
Let's see, anything else that's really standing out? A couple bridges. Arceus Armourouge is at 2-0 now. Anti with the Gardevoir at 2-0. Do have a Raging Bolt at 2-0. And we're waiting on 2 games with a minute and a half left. Hopefully they do finish, because I would like to press that end round and keep moving.
Now, what would you, if you could watch anything, what would you like to watch next round?
Any of these? That is a hard call. I do tend to favor like the more rogue decks you get. Like there's a possibility I would say the Serena would be one, just to see what it does. Other one would be possibly the Gouging Fire, or if I had to pick someone from the top decks, I would actually want to see this Lost Zone box, see how the Aiden here plays it.
It might be a stretch to call Giratina top deck in 2025, but I get what you're saying.
Because now it's a rogue deck, it's piqued my interest. Because like I don't
know if we can call it a rogue deck either. I just think it's not it's a low tier. I mean, it's a known quantity, right? But it's just what it's doing is not maybe all that great.
Because like one way I've put it, like every time I've cast and everything, I am going to watch the top decks probably in the top cut, or even as like say around 6, 7, or 7, 8 kind of thing. These early rounds is when like these like really outsider decks get a chance to shine, maybe get a couple quick, I won't say easy wins, but go like an upset here or there. And then usually the further in you get with it, they start to show their struggles. And sometimes they don't. Like we had Goldango take 4th last week. It rolled all the way up until I think it missed a coin flip. We watched the game and it missed a coin flip on Togekiss, and that costed the game.
See, I feel like I'm the opposite. Maybe my perspective is just the conventional one. I wouldn't be surprised, but I like to see those weird decks once they really start getting some wins under their belt. Like, okay, is this real? Is this something that's happening? Because that's a story right there. You know, like
I love that.
I've seen so many times you watch the rogue deck in round 1, round 2, round 3, and they just get like massacred by the best decks in the format. It's like, well, that was a bit of a downer. But if they're like 4-0, 5-0, they're doing something right. Then that's piqued my interest.
Well, we got redeemed of channel points. Put my stream game on, so we'll be watching the Puyo Boyos. That's I do honor my stream points on that. If you redeem I Hate Breakfast, I just ban you. Just tell me what table you're at, and we'll join you there, and we'll get that stream game on. Oh, Aiden is streaming, so we could also watch Lost Zone as a possibility. So as soon as we know, I'm just making sure the last game isn't finishing for whatever reason. I don't think it will, so we might be fine. There's Swell fella. So we'll have that once I get confirmation what table they're at. And also, Bolt Up, thank you for the raid. For everyone who came in the raid, I'm Senior Doom, professional illustrator, tournament organizer, and part-time lumberjack. And joining me tonight is Shining Espeon. Shining Espeon, would you like to just give it a little quick one for everyone who just came in?
Oh, I didn't come up with a good enough lie yet. Hey everybody, I'm Shining Espeon. You might know me from Pokemon TCG Twitter at Shining Espeon3. I post a lot about, I post some about retro Pokemon, and I post a lot of pictures of my cat. So if you're into retro Pokemon or cats, go ahead and give me a follow.
I need to move us real quick.
Yep.
Just need to confirm something here. Okay, at that time, Swellfella, I'm just gonna say it's a tie because it's just a lot of cards left to go. So
it's only 4. They have no more Ionos, and I'm just waiting. That's all I've been waiting for.
well, okay, you know what? They're time. Just a sec. All right, sorry, chat. Just had to jump out for a second. Just confirming the last game. All right, so let's get this next round going. Round 3. And if you want to chat, I always try to keep the air of transparency. What we did was I was able to confirm what the game state was and like a huge time difference. And so I was able to come in and say, okay, this is what's happening. This is what we want to do. Oh, it is Aiden. Well, that makes it even easier. All right, so I guess we're watching Lost of Tina.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, go ahead and end that one, Swellfella. It's all done. I've already made my call.
Tina's last ride.
It's right into the sunset.
Right into the server error.
The server.
There
we go.
I hope that's not an omen for Giratina V-Star. I have had a soft spot for Giratina V-Star in my time. I've historically not been a huge fan of Comfey decks, but I liked for a while last year, or goodness, in late 23, I liked how streamlined Giratina felt.
Yeah,
I like the list that Stefan Ivanov and Alberto Conti were playing, and I mean Alberto Conti won a regional not too long ago, but I mean he was just Giratina's strongest soldier, and I kind of liked the concepts that he had in his list.
I remember playing someone in Vancouver during the Silver Tempest format who had a very interesting Giratina list, but sadly for them, I played like 3 Parasols, and like 2 of the games they tried to hit the V-Star attack, and I'm sorry.
No.
And they like, oh god, I already flipped the marker, and I'm like, yep, because it wasn't like
Cash. Sorry.
It's like you couldn't, not that you couldn't attack. It's just like, yeah, you're just not. Nothing's happening.
Cash, I feel the opposite. I liked Lost Tina. I never liked Arceus Giratina. I never really liked Arceus anything, honestly.
I
think every single format where Arceus was legal, there was a different deck that I preferred.
I'm trying to remember what Arceus deck I did like. But I was with you. I didn't like Arctina. That was one I did not like.
Now, we have Giratina V-Star facing off against our friend Snorlax.
Yay!
Speaking of last rides. So this is going to be interesting because we have a whole lot of switching cards. So block isn't going to be the best option, but Giratina V the star sure does eat up his resources. So I wonder if we're going to be seeing a lot of shred action today.
I think shred might be your best thing, and also on top of that, you can continue to use stuff like Abyss Seeking to get rid of a lot of your basic Pokemon you don't want to see that could possibly get floated.
I like the Abyss Seeking, just prioritizing keeping those energy. It looks like we might just see a very, very slow build-up of this Giratina. Oh, Secret Box Snorlax, okay. Oh, my cat is screaming to be let in, so forgive me, chat, if you hear a lot of meows. Great child, come here.
Heat Miser. If you want to know, Heat Miser is my brother, so he'll come in and snark a lot.
I am definitely in no way a Snorlax hater. Oh, here comes the accompanying flute. Whiffing the Pokemon. These flutes are probably going to be big. And, oh, a Grusha. That's really interesting.
That is not a card. I'm glad they clicked on it. Because I'm like, I have
draw
no
cards
idea.
Draw cards till you have 5, and if you have no energy on your Pokemon, you draw till you have 7.
Yeah. So it makes sense in a Snorlax.
It does make sense. That's kind of cool. It's been really interesting seeing all these different ways the Snorlax players have gotten away with cutting Rotom.
Now, Rotom, there was a card that seemed underwhelming at first, but it actually turned out to be a pretty good card.
Ash, given how much time she spends sleeping, I'm going to wager she's a big Snorlax fan.
Cats are always
our first shred.
Cats are always welcome in this stream.
Good, because she's here whether you like it or not.
My cat Leonidas, before he passed away, used to be on stream with me on camera for hours on end. He would like wrap himself around my neck.
That's beautiful.
He was an orange cat with 1 brain cell.
Well, my cat is a gray cat with the normal number of brain cells. Oh, another big flute and another whiff. One thing that's interesting is that Giratina does not tend to play a bunch of those Ultra Balls to discard Pokemon, so they're can't be forcibly benched. So we really are just kind of hoping here. And we have a full 4 Snorlax ready to go, so it's going to be a lot of shreds.
Oh, got an issue. First issue of the night. Took 3 rounds.
All right. Got another shred on deck, ready to go.
Now, we'll probably see the water energy move here.
I feel like I would have done just what the Snorlax player did. I would just keep moving every grass energy onto one Pokemon. And then try to just keep dragging off the one that doesn't have any grass.
That's interesting. Can Serena EX deal damage to a Melodic? Because I thought it was... I gotta read exactly what Serena's...
Now here I'm thinking... We're not going to have an attack. Oh, Abyss Seeking. Interesting. 'Cause, 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 'cause Okay. Abyssing seems reasonable. I wouldn't have minded just dropping a Psychic on the bench Giratina and then a Jet next turn as well, but looks like, if I'm not mistaken, no energy attachments at all last turn, which is an interesting choice.
So I'm reading correctly. Sparkling Scale says, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Terra Pokemon done to this Pokemon. And the wording to Terra, to Serena, says, put damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon until its remaining HP is 30. And it is a Terra type.
All right, here we go. The Regigigas is now active, and we're going to see the stall strategies really coming into effect. Now, it's not too dire yet for Giratina. They have plenty of energy in hand. They can power some stuff up and keep attacking. But they are going to miss another attack this turn. They have no way of attacking at all. I feel like I really want to see a Psychic Energy down in that Giratina with 2 Grass Energy.
Same.
Oh, okay. We have Mirage Gate live, and here we go.
So now they can Jet energy.
Okay, two Giratina, both fully built. Going to be even harder to stall. So we're going to see a third Shred knockout, and with only 5 cards in hand, I mean, the Snorlax player doesn't have a wealth of options. So, okay, good turn for Giratina. I take back what I said about the stalling. And let's see what Snorlax has to say about that. I have really liked the evolution of control in the Pokemon TCG. You know, we came through the era where control was just infinitely recurring resources with that resource management Oranguru. And now, I mean, you have some recursion with Silene, but it's not necessarily the most reliable thing. You can flip those tails. And I don't know, control's been interesting lately. We have all these different variants of control, and they're good, but they're not like crushing the meta either. Which just seems like a good place to be.
Swellfella, I can't find anything that even talks about that as a remote possibility, but I would assume that the correct action is it should not be able to do that.
Yeah, so we see the Comfey dragged active, but here we go with another Jet Energy. Now this is the last one we have in hand, but that is another knockout going down to 2 prizes.
No fan either. So this energy is not moving off the Giratina.
Alright, what are you gonna do, Snorlax? Now the Snorlax comes down. What do you have? Now I saw, they already used the Erica in hand, so that's how they got my Comfey. Grabbing another Colress, gave them another 3 cards. Not terrible, but I mean, you got to have a counter catcher here.
There's a counter catcher.
Counter catcher probably going after the. I like going after the Gigas. Temple of Sinnoh shutting down some Jet Energy. Okay, I like that as well.
At this point, you know you have 2 switch cards left. You need 2 prizes. So I'm the Block Lax, so you even know that. You maybe was trying to look for your Misfortune Sisters if they run it, and try to mill those out.
Oh, there is a switch card off the top. That's going to translate to another prize for Giratina. That means Snorlax is going to have to find another counter catcher. So did not buy them the turn that they wanted. Yeah, I agree. Finding Misfortune Sisters, try to get rid of it would have been the play, but that one off the top is just so rough to deal with. And now that constant pressure on the Snorlax is really showing its worth.
Pal Pad into...
At this point, you can't even put a Bravery Charmer in on the Snorlax to try to put it out of shred range because they can just evolve and lost impact. So they just have to stall something out and hope to
they don't have that,
establish that lock.
They don't have that counter catcher.
Uh-oh. No counter catcher means no game.
Oh,
there it is. All right. But now 4 cards in hand, not great. They got to refresh their hand, and they have to, if possible, start attacking that deck. Right now, I'm looking, and there is...
If you want to increase your odds of getting that, the Jet Energy, I don't think.
Oh, there's still 2 Jet Energy left in deck, too. Of course, Temple Sinnoh's there. I missed it. Did the Giratina player have any stadiums?
I did not see one. I would say
that said, this Gigas is powering up too, so
I'd say at this point I would even just drop the Radiant Greninja and try to draw a few more cards. Because
I don't know if there's any great need to. I mean, it's so hard to prevent them from drawing the Jet Energy eventually, unless they just don't have a stadium. But they just have so much inevitability. They can just manually power up the Gigas and force the opponent to have another counter catcher drag up the Comfey. Oh, they have their own temple. That's not ideal.
Then they just set the Misfortune Sisters. Did they get that switch? No, it is in there. So there's a possibility you can get it still. You can draw 7 of your...
Oh, they're going for it. They're thinning. Oh, Prime Catcher 2. Missed it.
You can't use it.
Never mind. No bench. What am I thinking?
No bench.
I got too excited. I saw that pink. I was like... But still, only 4 cards left. Oh, they're digging too deeper. They're going for it. Okay, here we go. Oh no!
Now you gotta hope they don't have a Misfortune Sisters.
Now, what's the last card in their deck? One of them's an item. Is the other an item?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. They're playing it safe.
Now they can't be decked out.
That makes me think there had to have been an item.
Even then, they guarantee getting it if there is no Misfortune Sisters.
Yep, it's true. They can conceal. Oh, there it is. Oh, no. Now, that said, they are still going to power up the Gigas. They're still going to start attacking. So they're still putting on that tight clock. They have, do they have energy and discard? Do they have anything to Super Rod?
They could, they can't even Super Rod.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right.
Our Snorlax player weathered the storm? It looks like that might be the case. Yeah, they have nothing. They weren't even double checking. They just have nothing left. They're not going to be able to knock out that Snorlax.
There's nothing they can do. Oh my god, that was such a good game.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker. And that's it. They just had everything every single time, but they drew so many cards and they whiffed the last switch card when it counted.
They saw
what a game!
7 of 9 cards.
Oh my goodness!
And they just
what a game!
Whiffed on the last one. It happens though, and it is what it is. Like earlier, it's just
that Snorlax list was pretty impressive, though. I gotta say. Oh wow! I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the deck list now. 4 Snorlax, no other Pokemon. Very, very cool list. I'm pretty impressed with this. It's so unfortunate that the Giratina player with a deck of a full 4 Jet Energy had only their own Temple of Sinnoh as a stadium. What a game! What a Snorlax list! I'm pretty into this. I'm not gonna lie. 4 handheld fan, 4 boxed order. Grusha is cool. I mean, this is a cool Snorlax list. I like this a lot.
Sorry, I was checking something. I thought we had a player we banned got in, and no, they weren't banned. That was misreading a name.
That's good. All right, well, we are.
Let me go ahead and move us real quick.
Yeah, we're 3 rounds deep now.
Nice halfway point. And then
And let's see.
Standings have been updated as we're waiting on 9 matches. Let's go ahead and update the standings one more time.
I see 6 matches or 5 matches in limbo right now. Am I mistaken?
They're starting. There's 6 left now. There's just like 3 of them just finished up. Like I'm watching the number go up. I'm like, oh hey. All right, Emiosaur just redeemed random fact. Do you have a random fact for us, Shining Espeon?
A random fact. Well, a lot of you already know this. We just saw Snorlax on stream. Obviously, this is not the first time we've had a block Snorlax. We had Snorlax in the Plasma Storm set in 2013, and that was kind of a deck too, Quad Snorlax. But it was really interesting because we didn't have that deck playing to a deck out strategy. That deck still aimed to take prizes. It did that via Hypnotoxic Laser and Burbank City Gym, using the Shadow Triad supporter to get back Hypnotoxic Laser from discard, and then Rocky Helmets on the Snorlax and a Rock Guard Ace spec. So they're just like, well, we're going to hopefully lock you out and grind you out real slowly with poison damage, and if you attack me, you're going to take some damage counters. So seeing this Snorlax that is very, very similar to the old Snorlax in just a completely different type of deck really just shows how much control has evolved in the Pokemon TCG, and we just have so many great players cooking control now, so control has become so much more sophisticated, and I think that's cool. How's that for a random fact?
I think it works pretty well. Right now they are stuck in an ad, so they probably heard part of it, and I'll wait for them to get out before I say my random fact.
Oh, it's tragic that my random fact got eaten.
It's weird it's not giving me the option to snooze ads right now. May have used it too much the last stream, like they get a little angry about it. They're like, stop using your snooze ads. But if you do, it's like 3 minutes every half an hour. You maximize like the amount you can earn from ads with the most minimum amount of disruption. Which sucks that I have to run ads anyways. Like I could turn it off, and then like they do so much to like knock your stream down and all this other stuff. Like it's just bad. Like people have talked about not even being listed. I worked for Amazon. Amazon's shitty company. 3 matches left. Keeping the standings updated. Our Arceus Armorers 3-0. Oh, it freaked me out. Sec. Yeah, the song had like these faint that I have on for the background music for the stream. Had this like faint like pair of Hispanic ladies talking, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I thought someone had like was standing outside my office or something saying, I'm like, what the. Scaring me.
Emiosaur, I'm glad you like my Snorlax fact. I did it for you, so if you heard it and you liked it, then I did my job.
Okay, here's one. A group of bunnies is called a fluffle.
We have very different genres of random fact, eh?
Yeah. Well, the other one I have like a whole list of them. I have the next one on the list. If you were waiting until Friday, is the first professional recording John Bon Jovi ever released was him singing a song called R2D2 "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" on a Star Wars themed Christmas album.
Good for him.
Gotta start somewhere.
How did that go for him? Did he ever make it?
I would hope so. I'd hope everyone in the world knows the name John Bon Jovi by now. I'm looking.
We have an ancient deck at 3-0. That's a lot of fun.
There's a Watership down.
Oh no!
Oh, come on! Don't make me sad.
If I had my way, I'd want to watch Ancient or Gardevoir of the 3-0s. I know I don't always get my way, but if I did, that'd be my hope.
Anti might be able to, but I can reach out to Eric and see. So I think Anti has in the past, but his struggles to do it. Let's just look at his deck. Is he playing the Badoo? He is playing the Badoo. And the Mawile. I think the Mawile for some matchups is needed.
I mean, that's the Drago tech of choice, right?
Yeah, there was also another tech I saw recently. It was playing 4 memory bursts or memory whatever Ralts instead of the 70 HP. But when I played against someone, they hit me with that on their turn 1, and on my turn 2, I evolved into Dragapult, put a second energy on it, retreated, and wiped their board. I was like, that was a good tech, just not against the hand I had.
You know, I'm not. I haven't talked about it in like a year, but I used to be on Twitter all the time calling that Ralts a fraud.
I would 100% agree. I don't think I ever use memory skip.
I just especially like before it was because of Lost Mind Sableye. Now it's because of Phantom Dive. HP is kind of the way to go right now.
I love
Yeah.
that.
What's up, everyone coming in from Enraged Tribble Stream? Amazing name, because Enraged Tribbles are not very friendly creatures. I am Senior Doom, professional illustrator, tournament organizer, part-time lumberjack, and man who has now ate 752 burritos in his life. Yes, I keep track. And joining me tonight is Shining Espeon. What info about you do you want to portray to the people who just came in?
Hey everybody, I am Kara, aka Shining Espeon. I am a longtime Pokemon TCG player. I'm a Pokemon historian. I have a gray cat, and I've eaten 732 burritos in like the last year. So honestly, get on my level.
I would, but I've ate over 7 million slices of pizza. Something's got to give. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't beat that.
I would actually love to know how many burritos I've actually ate. Because I can tell you, we eat burritos like at least once a week for dinner. And usually I eat 1 to 2. So. Alright, we need to move real quick. Just checking something out. It's for the last match. There's still a discussion going on about Icicle Soul. Am I going to Vancouver? Yes, I am. And actually, there is a giveaway I will be giving at Vancouver, which if you haven't seen it is a Fuecoco with the greatest hair ever. Let me see if I can find the Twitter post on it real quick.
Oh, that sounds fun. I almost wish I was going to Vancouver now.
I have over 100 of them. They're sitting in my bag. People at work keep taking them. There you go.
Oh my goodness. That is absolutely incredible.
I drew it some time ago, and I was like, okay, well, I need to make a sticker for Vancouver. I give away stickers. And then it's just like, okay, what do I do here? What is it? What is it? What is it? And I'm like, oh, I have this old Fuecoco drawing. Not old, it was from like, I did like 6 months ago. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do that. That's what it is. Also, paparazzi, I live near Funko HQ, and supposedly they already have the Fuecoco pop in play. So I am trying to make my way over there, but the problem is, well, I would have to find time between with like Mrs. Doom and everything to be able to go do it.
All right, this has been a very exciting tournament so far.
Yep. I'm going to finish up this judge call here. All right, this is something I want to bring up again. This is where I bring up the transparency. The game we were watching was one of the last ones, and we came in, and one player is now down to 2 minutes left on the timer. And because of that, I'm giving, and just the board state, I know what the board state is. I'm giving the player who would have the win if the timer difference wasn't there, the win. So that's the reason why. Which the other player says, yeah, I don't think I have a win con anyways. So we're all fine there. So again, it's just in the thing of transparency. What I try to do, make sure when we have judge calls, that's what happens. All right, round 4 is up, and we were looking for Gardevoir or
Ancient.
Ancient. Let's see where they paired up. Eric S is actually up against Subwitch, which is the Snall, which Ancient might have a good try.
Oh.
I think Ancient plays the Petra Runt.
Oh, okay. Well, that's going to be a lopsided match. Maybe we should skip that one, eh?
All right, and let's see what Anti's up against if they're. Oh, Arceus Armor Rouge. Actually, I might like that one.
All right, I could go for that.
Because I want to see the Arceus Armor Rouge, so.
Well, then we each have something to be happy about.
That's the hardest thing, is making everybody happy. I know I have 2 kids and they're never happy.
Oh, goodness.
Just asking, finding out. This is also our problems once we get later in this tournament, less and less players. Anti says no, I figured that.
I wouldn't mind watching the Dragon Pulse, or I wouldn't mind watching some Miraidon, or I wouldn't mind watching Wancho. I'm down for any of that.
What's your record, Cash? Oh, he won one dropped. Or 1-2. The other player has not responded. We could always just go still Wancho stream.
I'd be happy
Wait, no, we have him. We have the other side. We have the other side. We have so we won't see from Wancho's side, we'll see from his opponents. So let me get that up. And
right.
And I'll just update the names as we get there. But yeah.
So we're starting things off then.
We are watching Tachyon Whooper's side, and Wancho is obviously on the other side.
So this is going to be Raging Bolt versus Terapagos Cloth. That's going to be a matchup for the ages, that's for sure.
Because, like, Terapagos Cloth is not taking a nice little, poison KO. But, like, everything.
Yeah, a lot of HP. And that Raging Bolt has even more HP, so we got some durable Pokemon here. Terapagos Cloth is gonna have to work for it. But that said, I bet this is gonna be just a bunch of KOs traded back and forth. I bet it's gonna be quick and dirty. So Wancho's starting, Cloth start a Nest Ball right away. And there's a Squawkabilly. All right. Ultra Ball coming down. Okay, Wancho has the Black Belt's training tech, but he's going to forego it.
I wonder if Black Belt's training ever comes into play in this matchup, because like the extra 40, I don't remember the Cloth numbers, but I feel like it might. But then again, like I said, I don't remember the Cloth numbers. I've played Cloth like twice.
Yeah, there's the Terapagos numbers and the Cloth numbers and the Poison numbers. There's a lot to keep track of here. Wancho is flexing on us with his special illustration rare copies of everything.
I've got so paranoid about the special illustration rares, I have to run regular full arts.
Oh, couldn't be me. I'm special illustration rare all the way.
I want the special illustration rare. I'm not going to lie, but I realized that with Lost Box, I was playing it, I never saw Colress. Played the full art, saw Colress all the time. I'm like, it's got to be full arts now. Made me sad, but it just had to be that way for me.
Oh, I could never let superstition get in the way of aesthetic.
I'm too superstitious. I love aesthetic. And I mean, my whole job's art director. My job's 100% aesthetic. But I've also been a lifelong baseball fan, and we are a very superstitious bunch.
Oh, absolutely. I can imagine that. I know that it's a standard card, but I'm just so happy seeing that Oranguru V. I've been a longtime fan of Oranguru V. I thought it was a deeply underrated card, and it's just cool to see that there's a deck where it's just getting its flowers right before it rotates.
I think that's been the great thing. Now, sometimes you see those cards get that final hurrah before.
Now we didn't talk about this, but not a good start for our Raging Bull player. They have no energy to conceal cards. So their Sada is dead. They don't have any action. They presumably prized Squawkabilly, so they couldn't get a fresh hand out of that. And now they are entirely at Wancho's mercy, and he's got a Terapagos ready to go. If he can ever decide what he wants to get off of that Lumineon. I know that the Terapagos Cloth deck has a lot of moving parts, so I wouldn't be surprised if Wancho's checking his prizes and doing some calculations and trying to figure out his whole line. It's very very complicated deck.
Yes, and really does not always fully work without that trolley.
And he has the Arvin now, so I imagine that's going to translate to a very full bench. But that's going to partly depend on whether he has everything he needs to attack, including that double turbo energy. Although I suppose Arvin could get the fourth Seal Stone, and fourth Seal Stone could get the energy. So I imagine that, assuming nothing's prized, he can do everything he wants to do this turn.
What if, hear me out, he prized all 4 double turbo energies?
Well, he has at least one because it's sitting on the Terrapagos, so
Okay.
it's not over yet. Otherwise, he'd be on Poison and Prey. That trolley is a very, very cool card. They've really knocked out the park with the ace specs this time around. Like, we have so many unique ace specs, and they all have like justification to be played. Not all of them, but we have a lot of playable ace specs now.
Yes. Like, I was looking through my ace specs recently, and I was like, I think the only one I had never played in anything was like Pokevitamin like A.
I was at a local shop week before last, and they had an ace spec bin, and I picked through it, and I grabbed one of everything that I didn't own, and I said, all right, give me all these ace specs. About a third of them aren't playable, but you know what? I need them.
And, I'm the same way. I picked up so many just because if the opportunity, if it happens. And also, you said the magic words local card shop, which means I have to give Tabletop Village a quick promotion. If you use code DOOM5, that's DOOM numerical 5 on their website at tabletopvillage.com, you'll save 5% off all your orders. And that includes if you sign up for a tournament, it will actually take a percentage off that too.
Well, while you were shouting out your local shop, Wancho took a huge knockout with Cloth, and our Raging Bolt player drew nothing. I mean, they can lost zone the under depths and force Wancho back to 5 bench Pokemon, but they're not exactly like keeping up with the tempo of the game. They are feeding a sacrificial Toad School and praying. You're gonna see a counter catcher to stall. Oh, don't drag up that Mew. You know, Daycamp, I know that Neo Upper Energy did win NAIC and seniors, but I think at the end of the day, that card was probably like a struggle card at best. As soon as we got the Sparkling Crystal for Dragapult, Neo Uppers would never look back.
I remember overpaying for Sparkling Crystal.
You know, that brings up to another point about these ace specs. Especially now with the Prime Catcher reprint, they are all just so inexpensive. And that's fantastic.
I have 2 Prime Catchers now, and a couple Maximum Belts I've pulled. I'm trying to remember what else, but yeah.
I was looking through my collection. I have 3 Prime Catchers that are unused, and another 3 are in my 2024 decks, so I have at least 6 Prime Catchers floating around. I have no idea where how that happened. Okay, down goes Toad School. You gotta top deck something, Raging Bolt. What are you gonna do? You're gonna top deck. Okay, well that's something. Concealed cards, draw 2 more, and still dead. All right. Well, this game feels a little bit wrapped up.
Time to sign the slip and say GG.
That's what I would do. You know, they say like play to your outs, don't give up. But if this were a tournament, I'd be thinking about lunch break right about now.
Okay, funny story about that. I had won the Portland Regionals. I was 3-0 or 2-0 going to lunch break. I was playing Gardevoir, and I paired up against a Mew, and the guy donked me both games. I was like, well, I was going to the lunch break. I was like, well, I'm going to go get lunch now. It helped both my friends and my brother had like got quick games too, so we had like an extra like 50 minutes for lunch. So we beat the rush, we sat down, we got our food, we ate our food, and everyone's like rushing, like, yeah, we're done, we're good.
I like the story because it involved Mew VMAX.
Yeah, I got absolutely destroyed by that Mew VMAX deck. They got like Path of the Peak and just everything. I was like, yep, this isn't going my way.
All right, then Latia saved by the Bravery Charm. And okay, a Nest Ball. I mean, we actually do have some play. Nest Ball can get us an ancient Pokemon that we can Sada onto. That's a good start. Our Dusknoir is unplayable. You hate to see it. I thought the deck was really cool, but I guess it doesn't get over the fact that Arceus V-Star is simply not a Pokemon card built for 2025.
I want to say I got power crept out. Well, you know what? Maybe yeah, it kind of did get power crept out pretty fast.
You know, I thought it was wild that was even seen in play when it was. Like, we had Mew VMAX on one side, we had Palkia V-Star on the other, and both those decks I thought were much more enticing to play. All right, well, we can see a Cloth Knockout. It's not a lot, but it's something. I don't know if it's going to come back from Wancho's just blazing fast start, but at least we are playing some cards. Now was that necessary to send both those energy? I didn't do the math.
Yes, I think it was because there wasn't enough damage on it. I don't know if the poison would mattered. Might have actually, yeah, because they got poison KO. You went ahead 3 more cards with the Pheasantipity.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
What's the play for Merida this weekend? I actually feel like Lugia would be the play. It feels safest in a sense.
I always say the same thing. The play is, I mean, I know you didn't ask me, but I'm going to weigh in anyway because I'm casting the stream. I think the play is always just whatever deck you really know all the matchups for. Pick something that's a high tier deck that you know how to play well, because I mean that's just your best deck going into any tournament.
And Daycamp just top 16 San Antonio with Lugia. Mind you, it was past format, but now he's got more tools than they did before.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lugia's been great for a good while now. I can never fault someone for playing Lugia.
Have a good one too, Professor Arson.
Okay, the cloth only had 20 damage on it. That's fair. I missed that then.
Yeah, then it's not getting poison KO'd.
For some reason, I thought it had 50.
Oh, here comes the Tropicos KO.
That's not great.
No.
And you have to think. I mean, I don't imagine there's any way you're getting out of this if you're the Raging Bolt player. Wancho has everything. You have nothing. You're down all these prizes. Then again, I mean, we saw Snorlax make that big comeback win, but I just don't think that that's happening here.
And then we saw that insane turn.
You know, that's true. We saw the Archaludon have absolutely everything. We saw Snorlax snipe that last Switch Cart. So we've actually seen some pretty surprising wins tonight. But still, I mean, like, what do you do here? I mean, that Terapagos is already just threatening to knock out anything.
Latias prevents any try boss shenanigan. Yeah, I just don't know what you do here.
Plus, you gotta get over Wancho's just his indescribable aura. I mean,
still the best person I've ever casted with. He actually came in one night where I was just tired, and he came in, and he just brought this energy that like woke me up, and like it was just like bam! I was like, oh my god, it's just not something you see.
Like, I mean, he and I have been talking for a while about. He's had some interest in casting my tournament series when I get that off the ground, and I definitely want to have him on. So I'm gonna get my tournaments off the ground and coordinate that.
Yeah, I need to still do the regional casting crew.
Hey, you have my number.
It's always the hardest because like it's the hardest because it's like I only have so many people. I don't want people to feel like, oh yeah, I didn't choose you for whatever X reason. It's just what it is. I always hate pressing. I pressed the wrong button. I was supposed to check something. There we go.
All right, and that is the last prize taken. Wancho just sweeps this game decisively with Terapagos Claw. I am mispronouncing Terapagos' name. The F in Cloth just throws me for a loop.
I know I misspelled on one of my sheets where I was what's the word I'm looking for here? Right down my testing, and I spelled it Claw Pagos for the longest time. I wanted Cloth Pagos. No, I spelled Klaw, which at the same time I was like, you know what? That's fine. I want to move us real quick. Let me ask why I move. I just like when I share my screen thing here, not to be in the thing. There we go. All right. So let me update the standings here real quick, as I'm doing some multiple things. There we go. We are waiting on 7 games with 2 rounds left, and our top decks currently are Arceus Armarouge, and we obviously thought the Ancient Box was going to win.
Yeah. Ancient with Peacherant against Snorlax is not surprising that they're 4-0.
Yeah. We do have the Gouging Fire at 3-1. This is where we're going to start seeing less and less 4-0s, because the way it's set up is it should only be 1-6-0 by the time we're done. All right, I want to bring this up. If you're playing against a stall deck and you start like just being defensive about playing against a stall deck and being like I can play slow because of it, you're not helping your case. All right, here's a question. Is the Mario Brothers theme the greatest song ever written? Update the standings again. Any other standout decks? Oh, we do have a Quad Thorns coming in 3-1.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd watch Quad Thorns.
They do play the double canceling Cologne. So they're doing pretty well against Mimikyu. The de-evolution's kind of spicy. I like that. Lost City's pretty standard. Crushing Hammers come pretty standard.
I mean, this is very similar to Fernando Cifuentes' list that won Worlds.
Correct.
There's a few differences. There's no INO in there. Fewer catcher, but yeah, this is, I mean, just a very, very Iron Thorns by numbers list. And yet, you know what? I don't hate Iron Thorns.
So,
I'm very excited to see what we get to watch next.
yeah, just one more. All right. Just had to deal with a player, so apologies. Please don't come in and just start swearing because you're playing against a stall deck or something. You're not going to garner any sympathy. You're not going to sit there and be like, "You're right. I'll give you the win," or you can play slow.
You know, I'm pretty done with people in the community like bad mouthing control players. Like, control's here, it's part of the deck. This is a tournament, and people are playing to win on the terms that they think are how they're going to win. I think people need to grow up and embrace it.
So yeah, I will quote what the player said, and excuse my language, cover your ears. And we have a no tolerance policy about this because it usually escalates very quickly. Is not my fault. He's playing gay shit. I said no. There went zero tolerance because he's going to escalate, and he's already escalating. And
yeah, but I mean, that's. I think you shut that down on sight.
So they were dropped from the tournament. They were their opponent was granted the win, and if they continue, it will result in a ban.
Yeah, I can't fault you for any of that. I think that's reasonable.
So, we've had some really bad ones come through, and again, this transparency. This is the reason why I dropped this player is that they were just starting, and they're probably going to continue. And like some people, now here's where I'll say I'll draw the line, kind of thing. And they say they're playing a stupid deck. I mean, yo, watch it, kind of thing, right? It's the fact that they escalated to that right away. And
Yeah,
so,
I'm with you there. I mean, it's not like you don't know that control decks exist. It's not like, I mean, if you're playing in a tournament, you ought to know that control decks are projected to be good this format. So if you choose to play to not tech for it or play a deck that has a bad matchup against it, I mean, that's the risk that you choose to accept signing up for a tournament.
but even then,
don't go flipping out and blaming your opponent because you made a meta call that you're not happy with.
so that I won't lie, sometimes 95% of the calls we get in a tournament all come from from a controlled player, usually from their opponent either starting to slow play, trying to drag out the game and get the tie, or they've decided to go off and start swearing their heads off. Is he still going? The guy's still going. I'm in there, Poyo Boyo. I'm watching. If I need to step in, I'll step in, but odds are I'll probably just let him do whatever. If they escalate even further, then it'll become a ban, and it's just simple as that. Which reminds me, I need to put them onto the issued warnings and other stuff. I do keep track of everything. Oh, people. How many matches do we have left? We were waiting, actually waiting on 3 matches. Wow. What are they? Stall. Charizard versus Gardevoir. Okay, you know, I can see that one. Reason why that's still going. And then Iron Thorns versus... What is this?
Well, that's certainly a deck.
Yeah. We've got the lady, we got multiple ogre pawns, the iron leaves, I can see that. The Bouffalon? Well, okay, what does Spinda do? Huh.
Okay.
You know what? Spinda is the easiest Pokemon to play. Easiest Pokemon to draw, because no matter how you draw the pattern, it's never wrong. Yeah, instant punching 4 coins. They just really did. They're just like, I'm going to do this.
You know what? More power to him. What does a Spherical do?
Which one?
The Spherical.
Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may attach any number of basic energy cards you find there to one of your Pokemon. Shuffle them back. So
yeah, I mean, they got 12 grass energy. They're basically, we have electric generator at home. You know what? I mean, that's sure is something. You know, Spinda as a Pokemon hasn't had a ton of opportunities to shine in the Pokemon TCG.
They reported the game as a win? What? Were you still playing? Oh man, this is starting. Alright, I gotta double check the stuff here. I apologize.
That's all right. You want me to keep talking? Because I can talk about Spinda all day.
Yes, please.
All right, I would love to. So we haven't had a ton of Spinda cards see a lot of success in the Pokemon TCG, but one time in particular that's worth talking about So, actually, there was the Spinda from Primal Clash had the Uproar attack, just did 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. That was briefly explored as a tech when the Ancient Origins Gyarados deck was a thing, because that did more damage based on the number of damage counters on your bench Magikarp. So you'd have 3 30 HP Magikarp with 20 damage apiece on them. You Uproar, could knock out 3 Magikarp in one if they didn't have some kind of bench barrier effect. That didn't see a ton of play, but I remember it being considered when the Gyarados deck was getting some hype. But the one story I know for sure about Spinda is, and look it up if you want to, this is Spinda Legend Maker. So this is a 60 HP Spinda. It's got a Pokebody Pattern Distraction. And it says that Spinda's active, and your opponent's basic Pokemon tries to attack, they have to flip a coin to attack. And if they flip tails, their attack does nothing. So this was played by Adam Vernola in 2007. He played it in his Infernape deck at US Nationals. And I believe he finished top 16 with it, which was a pretty good finish. The idea there was a lot of decks were the Delta Species decks back then. And they relied on Holin's Cast Form, which has an attack that says draw a card for each of your Delta Species Pokemon in play. So they would fill up their bench with Delta Pokemon and just start using Delta Draw to load up their hand so they can get all the other stuff they need and start attacking. That's kind of how a lot of decks worked back then. Oh, yeah, I can pause the story.
We're going to have Daycamp versus Eliminax, which is Archaludon versus Dragapult Dustor.
Sure, let's do it. Anyway, moral of the story is Spinda made all these cast form decks like struggle to set up because they couldn't always do the Delta draws. But also it has the Whimsy Draw attack. We just flip a coin till you get tails and draw 2 cards for each heads. And Adam said sometimes you just like flip 4 heads in a row and just draw like 8 cards. So that's probably the most success a Spinda card has ever had in the TCG. And I think that's cool.
I want to move us real quick.
Let's do it.
All right. Again, apologies, just dealing with judge calls and people being very, very toxic.
People, please be nice. We're playing Pokemon here.
It's a free, essentially for fun tournament. And if you feel the need to yell at your opponents, I'm sorry, but you need some help. And then also one of the best things, if you can have a victory screenshot and the faster you post it up, the quicker we could like verify a game at tie or something. Great, thank you. It makes my day so much quicker. Keeps everything from bogging down.
All right, we are live. Daycamp versus Eliminax. Let's do it. I haven't decided how I feel about Archaludon. I'm not gonna lie.
It's, I would definitely say, interesting.
But you know what? I have decided how I feel about Dragapult, and I like it. So if we get some Dragapult Dusknoir action, I am happy. Here we go. We have a Duraludon start versus, drumroll, here we go. Here we go. Duskull. No, this feels familiar. I've seen the start of a Dragapult player before. It didn't go very well. Let's hope they have a hand with some action in it.
Sorry, I'm archiving some stuff if you want to continue talking about the game.
Sure thing. So far we just see some energy get loaded up in the discard pile, and we're going to establish another Pokemon. Are we going to establish the Radiant Grinch? Okay, I like that. Keep digging with the concealed cards. Would love to see another basic come down, but 2 more cards, we never know. Nope. End of the line. It's okay though, not a terrible start. Gonna grab one of those energy back and attach it. All right. Last time we saw a Duskull Fez start, the Dragon Ball player had nothing. So fingers crossed. Let's get some Dreepy down. Let's see maybe some Badu action, just some cards, please. Okay, that's a Dreepy. I can read this. Oh, just a Perplex. That's not much better. What's going on, Dragapult? And meanwhile, a hand of just nothing but supporters. We gotta research away a Thornton, a Boss, and 2 Turo. And for doing that, we get a single Duraludon. So we get Earthen Vessel, we can get a couple more energy and concealed cards, but not a ton to work with so far. Meanwhile, no supporter out of our Dragon Ball player, so their hand is not suggesting a lot of strength to respond to this. I'm very concerned we're going to see a very lopsided game. Our Chaladon EX hits the field. We get to assemble Alloy, get some of those energy into play, and we're about to see a Metal Defender coming in, taking out our poor Duskull. Now that's going to help our Dragon Ball friend because they have Fezandipity down. They can flip the script and get a little bit more action, but still not the start they wanted. All right, now what do they promote? Because that probably tells us a lot about what they have in their hand. And they're thinking about it. So there's no easy choice for them. They got to go in the tank about this one. Okay, they're promoting the Dreepy. Now, can they leverage that for an actual attack? Flipping the script. A lot of cards in hand. How many of them are good? It's a moment of truth here. I'd love to see like a rare candy Dragapult and a Poffin or a Lance for like double Dreepy Dragapult. I mean, we need something though. A 70 HP Dreepy is not going to stand up against this Archaladon. Okay, Ultra Ball is something. They can Luminion for a supporter, so that's an okay start. Down goes a Switch and a Dusclops. I think that seems fine. I have to imagine they're going to Luminion here. They're just grabbing a Dreepy. That's the worst case scenario that I could conceive of. And Sparkling Crystal coming down the bench Dreepy. It's feeling a lot like we're going to have a sacrificial Pokemon this turn. Okay, an INL. Thank goodness we have a little bit more action. All right, but can I get another Dreepy down? Can I get something? Countercatcher to hopefully buy a bit of time in the Radiant Greninja. A Nest Ball. Okay, so we're getting a board established, and we might see the Itchy Pollen start now. So, got off to a bumpy start, but this might be a bit of a stable board depending on what can happen. We know that our Chaladon player is down 2 Turo already, so they can retreat if they can find energy, but their options are more limited. Now, staring at the boss's orders, that's interesting. They're going to try to do the old strat of break the item lock by boxing something else up. Let's see how that goes for them. Unwilling to commit to the research and discard all this stuff. Down comes the pop, and is this going to be a third Dreepy? Yep, there it is. Now, I do play Dragapult nowadays, and I feel pretty good when I have 3 Dreepy benched. A Lance, going to get them 3 Drag Cloak. They can evolve 2 of them right now. So, I think I'm happy evolving into a couple of Drag Cloak, doing a couple of Recon directives, filling up my hand more, and I would love just to retreat this Fez and Itchy Pollen again. Because if that happens, I feel like I've really gotten over my bumpy start, retaken some of the tempo in this match. But one thing's clear, this is going much different from our last Dragapult game. Now, the Earthen Vessel guarantees them the retreat and the Fez. They are going to be down another energy. They don't run that many. Often these Dragapult Dusknoir lists run about 6 energy and usually just 1 recovery card. So they have to be careful with their resources. But they got the retreat, they can Itchy Pollen again, and they're pretty stable right now. Now the key is going to be their ability to leverage this breather they got themselves and turn it into real pressure so that they can actually start to close out the game, because we've seen before, this Charchaladon deck can absolutely make comebacks. So it can be a little scary if they start to get too established. But currently their hand's kind of awkward. They don't have a Dialga V. They have another Archaladon, but nothing to put the energy onto. You'd really love to start pounding up that Star Chronos. They have a Nest Ball, but they can't play it. So this buddy was putting in work. This is really the format that we're living in nowadays. And there's the Jamming Tower. That card is so strong against Dragapult. Especially now, this Dragapult player is really relying on their Sparkling Crystal to attack. So with Jamming Tower down, they have to find a way to counter it, or perhaps find like a Crispin to pull an attack out of nowhere, because otherwise that they're going to lose another turn of pressure. Now, if I'm like, oh, okay, they're putting a fire energy down on another Dracula. That to me is conceding that they are not aiming to attack this turn. They just want to Itchy Pollen, unless they're going to do a Jet Headbutt, I suppose. Nope, there's the Itchy Pollen. All right, a bit of an underwhelming turn. I bet they were really planning on starting the Phantom Dive process. So the Jamming Tower ended up being a good counter for the disruption for the Itchy Pollen. Kind of took back one of the turns that the Dragon Ball player bought for themselves.
Okay, I'm back.
I feel like if you are playing Dragapult EX right now, you really have to be mindful of the splashability of Jamming Tower. You need to be running at least 2 stadiums. I wouldn't even fault you 3.
I wouldn't either.
Now,
the Jamming Tower hurts. Like,
I want to say one thing. I want to say one thing real quick. That Fez has been boss stalled again. We are down 2 energy, and if I'm not mistaken, we're also down a switch. So this is really uncomfortable here. Now maybe they have a Turo.
Yeah, does Eliminax play Turo or Rod as the next options?
Yeah, definitely a big question. I want to look this up right now and see. Now I'm looking at their list. They run no Turo.
A single Night Stretcher.
Yep, that's the standard. The one Night Stretcher, they run 2 Crispin, which is pretty interesting. They run an Experience Share. That's an interesting card that you don't see in Dragapult every day. But look at this. These stall plays out of Archaladon are actually really putting in work. I'll be honest, Jolly Flying Man, I don't fault you for running a bunch of temples in Dragapult.
Exactly.
I like temple. I like temple a lot in the deck, and just having one doesn't get you very far. You can't search it, so how do you guarantee having it when you need it? So I think that's a reasonable call. By the way, we see a Relicanth out of our Chaladon player.
Relicanth is insanely broken in this deck. It allows you to use the second attack that Duraludon has when you're damaged, and it can take some surprise KOs.
Now, I'm not an expert on Archaladon. The deck kind of had its biggest spike in hype when I was looking the other way. Is Relicanth a common tech for the deck?
Very. It's almost not even a tech. I think it's just part of the deck's DNA.
Gotcha. Well, fair enough then. All right, we got energy back, and so now we will be able to Phantom Dive this turn. Now, I wonder if we can pair that with the boss's orders to start soften up something a little bit more. Okay, or this is probably gonna say counter catcher, so we can start softening up the big things because our Chaladon has a lot of HP. That's not easy to take down. But we have that's an Ultra Ball. Really interesting. We have a Dusclops established as well, so that'll help. But there's been so much like kind of stalling back and forth with the Itchy Pollens met with the bosses and all that. Like things are a little bit slow to get going, and I don't
know what they're going to do here, because like if you Dust Noir the Duraludon, you're giving up the ability to KO their Archaladon.
Oh, there's the counter catcher. Okay, so we do have everything we need to KO the Archaladon this turn. I do like that. Take a knockout, take energy off the board. Now we still have to find a way to deal with the other big Archaladon. I mean, 300 HP is just so much.
But the amount of energy you've lost, I mean, you do have the crystal, you do have the experience, the share, but I mean, it's still a lot of energy that's just gone.
Uh-oh. If I'm seeing this right, I'm going to double check. But it looks like Eliminax plays 0 stadiums.
So Jamming Tower's just out there.
We are in Jamming Tower's world. That experience share, that sparkling crystal, that rescue board, all these cards have no text. I really don't like that. I would not show up for Dragapult with Dragapult with fewer than 2 stadiums. I can't risk being in this position with how many decks splash Jamming Tower these days.
Archaladon loves it. Regidrago's starting to play it.
Lugia runs it sometimes.
Yes.
And these are like these are not underplayed decks. These are popular decks.
If you look at the metagame tonight,
even Charizard's been running it.
Yeah. If you look at the metagame tonight, 14% of the meta is Archaladon and Lugia alone. And
what about Lost Vacuum? 0 copies.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at the amount of them that play Jamming Tower, Archaladon alone, actually not as many. 0.6 out of all the decks. But the fact that it still runs it.
I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if those boss plays were more than just breaking the Badu lock. I wonder if they were about forcing those energy attachments on the Pheasantipity to just starve Eliminax out of energy, because it definitely does seem to be what's happening here. That's I mean, those 2 crucial tools to mitigate for the deck's low energy count both shut off. That's really hard to deal with. All right, down comes the big metal defender. and we see the first energy drop down on the Dracloak. This Dracloak is going to be the only other thing that's going to attack this game. I mean, I think I feel comfortable calling that. I do not think we're going to be able to power up another attacker. It is 2 Dragapult, and that's it. Make it count. But the problem is, those Archaladon are so big, and we just saw Daycamp put a Turo back in. So, this is.
I don't know if I agree with this one.
This is not a position I'm comfortable with as a Dragon Ball player.
No, I would have just took it into the active, because even if they put down a Relicanth, you're getting knocked out no matter what. Now you're banking on them not having an energy.
What do you have to do? You have to establish another Dusknoir, right?
You can't with like all this in the way. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, your bench is too clogged up. But like, I'm just thinking in terms of like what you would need to have a realistic chance of winning this game. I mean, now the Daycamp's hand isn't doing much. If they want some more action, I mean, they can draw with concealed cards. That might get them somewhere, but they're choosing to attach. So they're just putting it all on these 2 Archaladon. They have no supporters. They have no access to those crucial Turos. But they're saying, all right, Eliminax, you need a Psychic and another Dragapult. You have 3 cards, a top deck, and 2 Recon Directives, and a Pheasantipede. Okay, that's a lot of stuff in a 12-card deck. Oh, the scoop up Cyclone off the top, though. That's going to be a big swing. Right, the instant Dracloak promote tells me.
What's it going to say for it?
I was going to say it tells me that they have the Dragapult for sure, but
no,
they're eye-knowing.
Oh, and the boss is off of it. That should just be game right there. You go after that Pheasantipede, and you're done.
Oh, yep, that's it. That's checkmate. Well, at least we got to see some Phantom Dives this game. That's the consolation prize.
There's the attachment. There's the Dragapult.
Plus they have those gorgeous alt art Dragapult.
That's the ones you want. That's always the ones you want.
I'm grateful that I have my 3.
I will hope to get them someday. I am waiting for them to go down in price.
I'm gonna manifest it for you.
I think it's a matter of time, especially with the restocks coming and like the staggered of it altogether.
Yeah, the supply is definitely going to increase. It's not one of the most hype. Oh my goodness, it's increased in price.
Yeah, it's 143 now.
Oh my goodness. The cheapest one in TCG Player is $200. Whew.
Either that or someone bought the whole thing out. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad I bought mine when I did then.
I'll trade someone for a play set of them and a couple more cards for my Latios tag team. I don't even know if you want to take 3 there because now you also open up counter catcher to them. But hey, we're gonna see boss's orders here for game anyways. As long as Daycamp sees it.
I think the idea was probably like trying to cut off options for the Archaladon player with knocking out the Greninja.
That's true as well. Get rid of the possibility of any more draw card. But they just had it off it. Iono's a lie.
Yeah.
Iono's such a lie. I mean, you can't lie. It's just like, no, it just doesn't work.
I do miss N, I'm not gonna lie. Putting things on the bottom is very different from shuffling back into the deck.
Yeah, because we had the whole thing for the longest time, and then we had Marnie.
I don't like Marnie very much.
Oh my god, I remember Marnie came out. It was always about like trying to remember to shuffle your deck into the put your hand on the bottom. So it was so much easier considering that Marnie never really saw play IRL because it was during the COVID era. I think we still saw it at the end, but
Really? Marty was played at Worlds.
Yeah, so
Marty had about a year and change of play before it rotated. A year and change of major event play.
But it still was like the shuffle put on the bottom, like when it first came out, Sword and Shield pre-releases, because most of them never got to cups. Timing on that was so weird, because I remember going to a pre-release and being like, yeah, I got Zacian, I've got all the ADP pieces, I'm gonna go try to get like another one or two, and then it was like everything was canceled.
Let me dip in here. Date Camp, I'm really curious. To what extent were you playing toward just like starving your opponent out of energy? Because you bossed that Fez twice. They'd already burned their switch. They don't run Turo. Were you trying to play toward like, hey, they don't have a stadium out, they can't take advantage of the Sparkling Crystal of the EXP share? Were you trying to like restrict their ability to attack at all, or were you just trying to break the item lock? I was pondering that while I was watching you play. And yes, I do agree with you. No stadium out was a choice, to be sure. I mean, they were doing well with the cards they had in place of the stadiums, but just I am so scared of Jamming Tower.
Yeah, you just get the Jamming Tower, and then you're not able to do anything. It's just like, oh yeah.
The bosses were to waste energy on their side. The bonuses of breaking item lock. That's what I was assuming was on your mind. That was my read of your plays. So I think that was a good call. No counter stadium.
We are just waiting on one last match, and it's Feral Gator versus Raging Bolt. Ooh, that might be interesting. That would have been one to watch.
That cannot be a good matchup for Bolt, right?
No, because if you're getting hit and run every turn, it just does not help.
And they're just taking one prize at a time.
So as it stands, going to the 6-0 matchup is going to be the Christian Kerbo versus Eric S. Ancient Box with Pecharunt.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Normally I try to get the 5-0s on for the last one. I think we all know where that's going. So then it becomes which 4-1 do we want? We could stick with Day Camp on whoever they end up playing, since we know. I could see if there's someone else. I know Anti can't. Wancho's got his own stream. I try not to always ask. I think Wancho could do it. So it's just a matter of like, we'll see what the pairings are. Fab68, thank you for the follow. Hopefully your night's going well. Yeah, we'll see what the pairings are. Surprisingly, though, the Ancient Box. What did Ancient Box all play tonight? Drago, okay. Gardevoir, yeah, I can see that. Archaludon. Archaludon.
Two Snorlax, right?
They're gonna hit 3 Snorlaxes in a row.
Well, that tells you a couple things, eh?
Yeah, as long as they don't prize the Pecharunt, they should win. And even then, let's see if they have an out with it. No Heavy Ball, though.
I think I agree with no Heavy Ball.
Yeah.
I don't like Heavy Ball. I mean, the deck does have. I assume the deck has Secret Box, right?
No,
Blender.
It's playing the Blender, so they can go and get rid of. Well, they're Great Tusk, they're Koraidon. You don't want those on the bench.
Yeah, I don't like Heavy Ball in decks that don't have a reliable way to search it. So even if there is like an important one of like, I would sooner run a second Pecharunt in that situation. But I don't fault them for no Heavy Ball.
No, even if they don't get a second, they don't have a Pecharunt, you can still power up a Roaring Moon to attack, and they can't really get the Fluttermane stuck, considering its own ability. So then you're just moving that back and moving this back. It's just what it is.
That said, there are plenty of things that you could trap with a flute. But I think the Peach-Runt is just really, really tough to overcome. That said, I don't know how there could be some tricks with the fans.
Moving the.
I have to imagine this favors the ancient player, but
Okay. Even this theoretically, Great Tusk, Land Collapse. Like the only thing, the 3 Pokemon you don't want, or 4 Pokemon you don't want in the active at all is Koraidon, Monkey Dory, Radiant Greninja, and Iron Bundle. And you can actually just get rid of those with a Brilliant Blender. Or Explorer's Guidance. You have so many discard options.
I mean, I'm of a couple minds on this. Like, we have not seen this ancient deck in action, and I would definitely be interested in watching it. It is 5-0. It might be a lopsided matchup. But on the other hand, we've seen Control just take these crushing wins tonight, and I don't know. Maybe the people would like to see Control fight in the first life a little bit more. I don't know.
We'll see what matchups we get. I'm just making sure everything is fine on this game that just went to time.
I like this ancient list a lot, though. Also, the Monkey Dory is pretty spicy.
Yeah, I've seen them. A lot of decks are just trying to throw in Monkey Dory if they have Dark Energy already, and they go and they put it in there and be like, yeah. Dragapult can't keep damage out if I just keep moving it.
You know, I'm starting to regret selling off my spare Alt-Art Monkey Dory. I'm starting to think I might need that card.
I so badly want to get the Alt-Art. All right. They said, one of them said GG's. It's enough. That's 2 2s. I'm just going to keep the tournament running. All right. Let's see. Day Camp, we know is playing versus Anti with Gardevoir. Do you want to see the Gardevoir?
I do, but I've seen so much Archaludon.
I can see we get Eric S's side because I don't know if Christian Kerbo can run. So we'll go ahead and see.
We could watch the Gardevoir match. We could watch.
Okay.
Let's run it.
Yep. I'll make sure Day Camp knows because this one's actually favored to Gardevoir.
Well, I do like watching Gardevoir win, so I'm here for that. Day Camp's been playing so well tonight.
Like I said, Day Camp took top 16 in San Antonio, so he has been very good lately.
I can see that.
And he's also won Tournament of Dooms. He did well in the Tournament of Doom regional. Actually, the funniest thing was that we had 2 people who top 16 in the Tournament of Doom regional, top 16 San Antonio. Not with the same decks, though. Well, one was the same deck. All Out Blitzel was one of them.
Now what was Day Camp running at San Antonio?
Lugia.
Okay.
Which, if I can look it up real quick. So I get like super proud of like people in the community, like play my tournaments and everything, do really well IRL. I'm like, yeah. Here we go. Christopher Butler. Lugia list right here.
Yeah, I was looking at the list. Only Lugia in top 16. It's a great list.
Yeah, if it plays well. I need to play more tournaments. I just don't have time. I saw tomorrow. I have to work from home tomorrow because I have to take my son into school, and it's also just been snowing so bad. Like I have to take him to school. By the time I get him to school and done, and then it takes me like an hour and a half to get to work. By the time I get to work, it's gonna be like noon. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'll just drop him off at school, come back, work from home the rest of the day. Even though we're supposed to be in there 3 days a week, I've gone 0 this week. Oops. Don't tell work. I want to play in the late night. It would be the 9 o'clock late night. It'd be a great tournament to test, and I can't. Just not with the time. And then I can't do the 4 o'clock because that's when my family gets home and I have to cook dinner. So I do think I'll play in one of these right before Vancouver, though.
One of these days, I'll play in one of these online tournaments. I've said I should do it before, and I've never pulled the trigger on it. That said, I mean, I'm happier commentating than competing anyway.
Let's see, like that's been my thing. Is like I've been so happy just competing.
My competing days are certainly behind me. I'll play in the occasional League Cup, but the competitive scene doesn't personally have a lot of lure to me as a player. But as a spectator, and more importantly as a caster, oh yeah, sign me up. I'm into this.
I do think like the online tournament scene helps a lot, and like I've talked about it plenty of times. Probably some people in the chat are like, "Oh no, Doom's talking about it again." It's accessibility.
Oh, absolutely. Accessibility is such a huge part of this game. Like, just giving players. I mean, it's not easy traveling all over to these big tournaments.
Or even to a cup. Okay, I have a friend who lives in like northern Canada, and it's a 2.5-hour drive to the closest league.
That's true too. Yeah, I mean, not everyone's lucky enough to have leagues near them. I mean, I take it for granted sometimes. I live in Orlando. We have leagues everywhere, but it's true. Some players, they have to take a hike just to find other players. But being able to just hop online, play with other people, and compete with other people is tremendous.
Yeah. I live in Seattle. I have like 8 leagues around me easily within like quick driving distance.
Server error.
Fun. I mean, I'm going to a cup this Saturday, and there's like I think 3 cups within driving distance for me this Saturday. So it's like, again, I'm not hurting, but there is people hurting. Like if I lived in my hometown, which is like a 200-mile drive from here, from Seattle, there's like 1 cup a month, if that, and even then you still have to drive. It's like a 30-40 mile drive easily.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point about these online tournaments. Just giving more players outlets to compete, and some of these tournaments get really big and fairly competitive. So it's good that people can have something to kind of scratch that competitive Pokemon itch. Yeah, that's a good point too, Cash. Like, just getting a broader spectrum of opponents to play against is definitely exciting if you're a competitive player. All right, and here we go. We are in our game.
Dialga?
A Dialga start from our Chaladon player.
Now, one of the things I didn't like when I played Archaladon is it doesn't hit Guardy for weakness. Is this dark weak right now?
Right. They abolished stereotypes, so we're in a new world.
I was like, no. Well, it was because the other Guardy, the old attacking one that rotated, that was weak to metal.
Interesting. Not that it ended up mattering that much, because it often had like 40 HP when it attacked, but it's true. All right, I'm eager to see what Gardevoir start's going to be. Usually they want to start with that Arven into Poffin and TM Evo, but Badu has added some variety to this. So, question 1, do they have a playable start? And question 2, which route are they going to take if they have a choice? All right, Rolf's down just for starters. So far, so good. Just waiting with bated breath here. I'm so eager to see what they play. And there's the Arven. Okay, so that means they're going to at least have something pretty solid. Earthen Vessel and TM Evo. Okay, but are they going to have another Ralts? TM Evo into a single Curlia doesn't feel great.
Notice they dropped the Drifloon for now, because the jamming tower does become a huge effect of like you power up that Drifloon, you put in the active, and they drop jamming tower. There it goes, and it's like, okay, great. What are they going to take out next?
All right, second Ralts. Plus, these Gardevoir lists are running multiple copies of of the Night Stretcher, so they have plenty of ways to get back a Drifloon to take that big KO late game. So that makes sense to me. All right, there it is. TM Evo for double Kirlia. That's a respectable start.
Well, it's just like the Archaludon plays multiple ways again. The Archaludon's back.
Right. All right, now we can't see that Star Chronos, thankfully. We're not going to see anything too wild this turn, but could see a knockout on the Monkey Dory. Not enough energy and discard to actually use that Archaludon, but now we have Earthen Vessel, discard a metal, grab 2 more metal, Ultra Ball. So we do have plenty of stuff now to get all this metal energy into play. But hand doesn't have a lot of action otherwise. So I guess we can see a Metal Blast. That's a respectable enough play. And threaten that Star Chronos.
Takes out the Monkey Dory, which fixes a lot of math. Well, the Monkey Dory fixes the math. Not you taking out the Monkey Dory, like it surprisingly fixes math somehow. But you know, never doubt it.
All right, here we go. The Dialga's ready to Metal Blast. That Monkey Dory is going down. Now we are not threatening the Star Chronos next turn because we don't have another Duraludon in play.
But we are threatening to KO anything that comes up.
Yep, that's absolutely true. And it would take a lot to respond. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's not that likely that with a two Kirlia and 3 cards in hand, they're going to be able to knock out a Dialga. All right, well, Fresh Hand 6 is a good start. They would need 5 energy on a Drifloon, and they would also need to be accompanied with a Bravery Charm. Drifloon is in the discards that we need to Night Stretcher for it, but also we just have to get the energy into this card. Which we see how many were in there. I know we've seen a few. There's another one. Then we also just need the Gardevoir itself. Oh, not an energy discard. Not ideal.
Yeah, I don't always agree with just getting rid of the Iona.
Oh, 3 energy? Is that what we have?
Yep.
Just 3.
3. So the Irida, Arven's gone. Double Iono, Artisan.
If they have a Gardevoir, could set up. Okay, Monkey Dory built. We could set up a Scream Tail play, but that's not. Oh, I guess we just tap the Gardevoir. We're not weak to anything, so.
Hopefully Daycamp uses the Artisan for their own advantage here to get another Duraludon out. I don't even know if you want to put energy onto the active Dialga.
No, now we're just going to eat a Miracle for us. I think we write it off and power up something new. Firing off Metal Blast is still plenty good for now.
Gets the damage out there, puts the Gardevoir in a little bit of shaky ground considering they only have 1 Kirlia to keep drawing with. They could KO the Dialga here with double Monkey. So probably the Jamming Tower is definitely the play to put down. Just get rid of that Artisan. That's one of those things like playing Dragapult. I have so many people tell me, play Artisan, play Artisan. I'm like, you know what? The decks that I really need to use Artisan against, play it already for me. And it gives me an option to get rid of it so then they can't use it.
So what do you play instead?
Temple of Sinnoh and Collapse Stadium usually.
I don't mind either of those choices. I might even like 2 copies of Temple of Sinnoh.
That would be my alternative. Take the Collapse out and put double Sinnoh.
I play an Artisan in my list right now.
Like it's not bad. It's just like the decks I'm playing against where I want to use, or where I usually want to use it, already play it, and like I just even noticed that a lot of decks are playing it. So like,
I mean, I want to use Artisan all the time. I just want to have as many ways to get my basics into play as possible. And in matchups where I don't need to hold the stadium for a jamming tower, I'm happy just dropping Artisan, getting a Dreepy, and if my opponent uses it too, I got my Dreepy.
Let me introduce you to this A spec card called Precious Trolley.
I'm on the Sparkling Crystal, so I'm on the Charizard build, you know.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with this counter catcher.
Yeah, hold on. There's a second Monkey Dory. They're going for it.
Okay, now they got it. Okay.
Oh, okay. So they're knocking out the Dialga and also
taking out a
significantly hampering the potential for follow-up. Oh, we are Gardevoir gaming, my friends.
That double monkey always is.
You don't see it. You don't see it all the time, but my goodness, when you do, it just looks like the best thing you could be doing in the game.
So he's got access to Fezandipity, and the Ultra Ball, and the still another baby Duraludon.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he can knock out the Gardevoir. That's all well and good, but
I think he saw the Fez here first.
The problem now is that there's a lot of energy in that Gardevoir player's discard pile. Now they only have one Kirlia in play. That's the big weakness of their board. If they had 3 Kirlia, I'd be feeling like they're just sitting pretty. But just one Kirlia is a little bit weak. Maybe they prized a couple. Who knows? But
so our Charizard, is it more important here to either Turo up that our Charizard with no energy? Well, I guess they're attached energy, so then it doesn't matter. So
I feel like, you got an Ino here.
Yeah. Put them down to 3. If you can clear the damage, all the damage those monkeys don't do as well.
Now it's going to depend heavily on what Gardevoir player draws off a handful of cards. They could knock out an Archaludon this turn. They could knock out a Fez this turn, you know? They have the energy for either a Drifloon knockout or a Screamtail knockout. We don't have the stadium in play, so there's no... oh, we do the stadium in play. Never mind. So actually, that changes things. Because the Artisan is down. Artisan has been used. There is no other stadium. No vacuum in play. So that actually means that the Bravery Charm, the one Bravery Charm in the deck is now dead. We are just relying on
we're going to see
what we can do with base HP.
We're going to see a monkey confusion here, probably.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, we'll see what they get off. They got 2 refinements now. Ooh, Screamtail, okay.
Alright, okay, well, they can knock out the Duraludon, that's really good. And then pressure, they can knock out the Duraludon and then pressure the Daycamp, the Duraludon player, to get rid of that Fezandipity, because that's an easy target otherwise. The fun thing about Gardevoir is that, like, once you have the Monkey Dory engine online, you basically never want to promote what you want to attack with, because you want to get a little extra energy, a little extra damage on something that you can monkey away later.
Exactly.
All right, so here we go. Moving damage around off that monkey.
Shorts.
I don't know where you put your damage. If you put 20 on the Fez, it's in range of a Gardevoir knockout, and that's relevant math. But you know, wherever you put anything, you have to be mindful of the Turo possibility. Okay, they're going for it. They're saying, all right, I'm gonna knock out your... Oh, just... Okay, there we go. I'm gonna knock out your Duraludon with Screamtail, and then I'm gonna gust your Fez and call it a game. And actually...
Nope. Oh, yeah.
There's a world where they don't even need the gust. They can just get back Screamtail and punch the Fez for 160, which isn't knockout on its own, but Monkey Dory can make up that difference. So they really set themselves up here. It's going to be they have a lot of ways they can close out the game. And we're just seeing the strength of Gardevoir right now. Deck just will not go away.
I think you definitely need here to Fez. If you can pick up the Fez.
Yeah, you have to Turo if at all possible. It'd be such a big swing if you do. There's that 1 Turo, 2 Turo left in the deck, so it's possible. I think you thin aggressively and try to Turo. Oh, but they're a little concerned. They're a little hesitant to drop another low HP Pokemon.
Scoop up Cyclone.
Oh, scoop up Cyclone. That's huge.
Now the question becomes, do you want to try and KO one of the monkeys with the counter catcher? Or actually, no, I might even go after the Kirlia.
It's
a hard call.
It is tough. You have that prize deficit, and you're not going to knock out a Gardevoir. So Gardevoir hits what? Yeah, I think you go after the Kirlia if you're going after anything. The highest damage deck can put out is 190. There's no world where you are. There's no world where you're going to one-shot with that. You're two-shotting no matter what. So the monkeys are not the highest impacting in the world. But no, they're just knocking out the Scream Tail. Not sure how much I love that.
Poyo Boyo, I'm guessing they had the
Peacherunt. Real Peacherunt hours, if I had to guess.
Yeah. So now you're hoping to find that Turo this next turn.
Yeah, another Turo would be a huge, huge swing. So this is going to be interesting.
Because as much as you want to wish that our Charlene was a Terra type, it is not a Terra type.
You know, I don't actually hate the knockout Scream Tail there. Take the prize when it's in the active, because you know you're going to have to be in this two-shot game with Gardevoir. You could potentially set things up where you could just do 2 gusts for your last 2 prizes, or just punch a Gardevoir twice. I think probably you want to gust like a Kirlia or a Monkey Dory, and then try to do one last gust for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the vision I have here. Like Secret Box Gardevoir. Interesting. Oh yeah, of course that was the Henry Chow special. What am I saying?
Petrant started in the active. Wow.
My vision here is, oh well, prizes are tied actually. That counter catch doesn't do anything. Oh, this is really tricky. Okay, those I got the Iono, which is probably like the main event here. Gonna grab another Kirlia. Yep. Here we go again though. Iono is a tricky card because we know there's no Toro in that hand, and they get to. Oh. And there you go. There's the Toro. That's the problem when you put things on the bottom instead of shuffling in. It's just, you're just trying to do that soul read and see if they have the card they need in hand or not.
But the problem is they
This
still
is
need energy.
going to be really big. They do still need the energy, and they have no action in their hand.
Because playing Turo without the energy, all you're doing is just resetting for a turn.
It's true, but you got to do it. I guess alternatively, you could just like hard retreat and hope for the best, but that seems even worse.
And the Mochi Mochi dance on me.
All right, top deck of the century, and come on, research.
Oh, research.
Okay, well that's not energy. Well, they could research to dig for the energy and retreat the Archaludon, but I don't feel comfortable leaving that Archaludon on the bench. There's so many ways that they could finish that off. So that might be what they're going for.
That might be your best play.
I mean, I guess that's playing to win, right? It's scary because Gardevoir needs essentially just Creamtail or a Gust. Either one of those will win the game.
The worst thing is, the 190 is not enough damage to OHKO the Gardevoir with a Relicanth in play. So you're just a little too short.
Not that they have access to the Relicanth anyway. Alright, you gotta retreat. Oh, they're sending out the sacrificial Duraludon. So 60 plus 190 is 250. Yeah, I guess two monkeys would finish that off. The Gardevoir player really set up the math just right.
Part of me feels like you probably should have went aggressive there, but we'll have to see.
All right, Gardevoir player has a lot of ways to win the game. Screamtail or Gust are foremost among them. We're going to see some more cards. Let's see what we get. Oh, there's Screamtail, and that's it.
That's it. That will be game right there.
All right, so Gardevoir coming into a solid 5-1 finish for tonight. I gotta say, it's really satisfying putting in the time with testing Gardevoir until you start to see the lines.
I have a friend who's testing it. He's up to 100 games already with it. I haven't hit 100 games with the deck, so I'm trying yet. I'm like, dang, but he has the opportunity to just play all day. He made a joke that he's seeing the Guardian lines in his dreams now.
I certainly can relate to that a little bit. I don't know. I start seeing energy, and I'm like, okay, well that's 40 or 60, and
but
I can probably stand to get sharper with all the Monkey Dory spice, but
you think Monkey would have helped? I think probably, maybe. It was.
Yeah, I think KOing Monkey was probably the play.
But we do have essentially our final standing set with 6-0 Ancient Box, 5-1 Snorlax as a pair of them, Archaludon 5-1, Wancho, Primetime Wizard 5-1 with Cloth Pagos.
Shout out to Wancho.
Anti, here's number 6 with the Gardevoir. Sergio BG 500, Dragonbolt Dustmore 7th, and Gobs TCG with the Arceus Armorers taking 8th. And then a whole bunch of players underneath that, but not a bad. I'm a little surprised at how much Blacklax showed up tonight, but sometimes it does that, and some nights it just has bad nights.
I'm not that surprised. I do agree with people who contend that Snorlax is really good this format. I think Snorlax is great in this current meta.
I have a lot of people I've talked to say because Lugia is becoming more and more out there, and it just has such more favorable matchup into Block Lax with just all the jet energies and everything.
I'm glad I got to watch you that game. You played fantastic. That was some really quality Gardevoir.
That was a very quality match, though. We'll see. We have an event this weekend, right? A major event, our first one in this format.
I believe we do, yes.
So we'll have to definitely see how that goes. Because, like, I know Gardevoir's, like, super played, but I mean, like, part of me is like, how many players actually know how to play Gardevoir?
Well, like, what won the last regional again?
Gardevoir, but that's Henry Chow who knows how to play Gardevoir. I'm talking about for, like, every Henry, there's, like, 6 people who don't play it well.
Well, I remember NAIC.
No, actually, I don't.
For folks who don't remember NAIC, this was the top 8. Now, it was won by Lost Zone, and there was another Lost Zone in top 8 as well.
It was Hedrick.
The other 6, all Gardevoir.
I remember that now. Because I'm like I said, I remember listening to the podcast about it and everything else afterwards.
I think there are enough good players out there who know how to play Gardevoir well. And if they have reason to believe the Gardevoir is just a safe and strong pick, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to see.
There's a lot of reason to believe Gardevoir is the best deck in the format right now.
We'll definitely have to see. And the exciting thing about like a newish format and any sort of like tournament like this is like everyone's eyes are on it. What's going to happen?
You know what? I think I'm going to call it here. I think that Dragapult is good and maybe the best it's been, but I think the whole Dragapult best deck hype that was coming out of Japan going into this format is not true. I think we are definitely in Gardevoir's world.
I think what helps the Dragapult in Japan is a lot more best of one. Like having that ability to best of one, maybe donk something or have something else like that helps. Whereas in Guardies, kind of thrive with those best of 3s a little bit better, at least in my experience. And a short time limit, that is true too. So there's a lot of things, and I don't know, because like, as much as I like to sit here and be like, Dex, go in here and be like, what's the best deck? Wow. Lunatone Soul Rock has a 18% win. It's like, I don't know. There's only so much you get out of these online tournaments versus like once you start getting like IRL and different things. I think Miraidon's not even B tier. Well, okay, you know what? Miraidon can beat something like Gardevoir if it's fast enough. Like if it hits generator and like gets going. But I think Miraidon just hates Badoo right now. But then again, I've been a Miraidon hater since like day one, so.
I was a Miraidon hater, but I am no longer a Miraidon hater. That said, I don't think I'd want to play it in this format.
Like you probably sit there and be like, Lugia could be good, or you could beat Gardevoir, but
the big variable that we kind of have hanging over us might be what Drago ends up looking like. Is Drago going to maintain some of its presence? Is Drago just completely done? That's kind of the big question mark. Now, a lot of players have their thoughts and they have their testing results, but we don't have that big picture stuff to say for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious to see what comes of that. I would love to see Draco just drop off the face of the earth. I'm a bit of a Reggie Draco hater. That deck just has always put me to sleep. No, I'm not saying I hate the best deck. I don't care. Sometimes I've been all over the best deck, but I just have not found Draco very interesting. I find Gardevoir very, very interesting.
But yeah, Gardevoir has been one of the most adaptable meta decks. I think the ability to, refinement is always great, and then the energy acceleration is so good, and then you have the Monkey Dory synergy. I mean, what more can you do, right? I would like to see what happens after it loses refinement, but knowing Gardevoir just being what it is, I swear it's still going to be out there.
I think you have the correct take there. Psychic Embrace is way, way too strong an ability. And Refinement's great. I mean, without Refinement, it's going to be a very, very different deck. But Psychic Embrace is the ability that you just build around. And most of its tools are sticking around. So if the deck can find a way to stay consistent without that Refinement digging through the deck and loading up the discard pile with Psychic Energy, then I think it is likely to still be something post-rotation.
Yeah, because right now, I hit it with the Badoo. They're just like, oh yeah, here, I already had the Ralts. I mean, Curlia, and then they just draw through their deck anyways. I'm like, why did I item lock you? You're just going to draw through everything anyways. But with that, we do need to call it a night. It's what, like 3 a.m. your time? It's almost midnight mine.
Sure is almost 3 a.m. I need to eat something.
Yeah, so we're going to go raid Wancho. He's streaming. He's going. So I will send everyone off to there. Again, I'm Senior Doom. I'll be back Friday. Shining Espeon, any last words you want to say?
No, I mean, thank you all for coming out and watching. I had a great time casting this. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you want to talk to me about Pokemon, especially retro Pokemon, that's my wheelhouse. Find me on Twitter at Shining Espeon 3, or you can hit me up on Discord at Shining Espeon.
All right, and hopefully I will see everyone Friday.
Take care, everyone.